The Commander-in-Chief's trophy is on the line today at West Point. The Falcons want the trophy back at Air Force. Army is trying to repeat for the first time in their school history. Bragging rights for the whole year are on the line. Who will sing second? You sing second, that means you won the game in these great Service Academy rivalries. Today we've got a beauty for you. From the banks of the Hudson River for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, Air Force with a win, they claim it. Army gets a win, they would retain it. A big day, and we started here from Michie Stadium. A pleasure and an honor to be with you alongside my broadcast partner, Jay Feely. My name is Ben Holden. Happy November, and this game, Jay, means so much to both of these teams. Last year, Army, it was step one when they beat Air Force out in Colorado Springs, 21-0, that eventually led them to the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. Air Force wants it back. They haven't had it in 2 years. What do you see today?
Everything that's right about college football, the passion, the pageantry is on display today. These two teams desperately want to beat each other, and great football. You look at Army the last 4 weeks, 4 big wins over big teams after narrowly losing to Oklahoma in overtime, but none of that matters if you lose to your bitter rival, Air Force.
Yeah, and the last team to beat Army here, Air Force, 2 years ago. They've won 10 in a row since then. We'll see what happens today. Of course, Ahmad Bradshaw was the guy last year leading the offense for Army. Now it's Calvin Hopkins in his show.
Calvin Hopkins is the best passer throwing the ball that Jeff Monken has ever had in this offense. He adds the added element of being able to go up top and stretch defenses vertically. When you stack the box, you put 10 men in the box against their offense. Brent Davis can dial up the play action and can go to the air. It creates a lot of problems for defenses.
He had 100 passing and 100 rushing last week in that win over Eastern Michigan. Now we talk about Troy Calhoun and his team. Who's going to play quarterback? 2 years ago here, Arion Worthman started his first ever game in that win I mentioned earlier. But now they've got 3 guys, and nobody knows until this game starts who's going to play.
Worthman started the season, then they benched him. They went to Hammond. He got injured, so they go to Sanders. He had a good game last week, 200 through the air, 100 on the ground against Boise State. We think it'll be Sanders, but if he struggles, do you go back to Worthman because he's had success against this Army defense?
He's had very good success against it, no question about it. Troy Calhoun, 9-2 all-time against Army. They last won the Commander-in-Chief's trophy here in 2016 with a 31-12 win over Jeff Monken's team. And last year was Monken's first win in this series against Air Force. He wants another one. They don't want to give that trophy back. He said, hey, we win today, we retain it. They get it, it's going in a box back to Colorado Springs in their truck. That's how it works out. Army's fullbacks always a key whenever they play. And for more on that, the third member of our team, Tina Servasio.
Well, Ben, at West Point, and every week, Army puts 5 fullbacks on their depth chart. And every game, all 5 play and contribute in this triple option offense. I want to point out 2 to you to watch today. We're going to start with Darnell Woolfolk. He is a team captain and the rushing leader. He has been dealing with a sore hamstring, and despite being limited in practices, he still comes out every game pounding at the position. And offensive coordinator Brent Davis calls him, quote, a hammerhead as he hammers away at opposing defensive fronts. Now expect to see more of Kalen Holt today. He was dealing with a knee injury in previous weeks, but he's healthy now and will play more at slot back. Holt plays fast, and it's because of his athleticism and that he is Army's lead blocker and can play multiple positions, Ben.
Yes, Tina, thank you so much. They've told us for a couple of years he is their best all-around football player. It is jam-packed, a sellout here at Michie Stadium. The weather right now is great, a postcard-like day, 54 degrees, partly sunny, but the wind, Jay, could be a factor as this game goes along.
It certainly could. Air Force throws the ball more than they have in the past, averaging 137. So does Army. Army averaging 91 yards a game through the air. So as this wind continues to blow and you get gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour, it could impact the play calling.
We'll keep our eyes on that. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching today. These 2 great service academies are underway as the 53rd installment of Army at Air Force is underway. Kel Walker with a fair catch in the end zone. It'll be a first down and 10 from the 25 for Army. Time now, Jay, for our Chick-fil-A starting lineups. And we touched on Kelvin Hopkins a little bit there in the open, but I know you have a lot more you've seen out of him that you like this year than we've talked about.
He missed the Miami game that we did. Cam Thomas played and played well, only ran the ball. Last week against Eastern, 7 for 8, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air. And that's something. Last year, they had 20 completions. Army did all of last year. So he adds something that's so different that now makes this triple option offense so much harder to defend.
Yeah, and Army didn't attempt a pass last year in 5 possessions against Air Force in that win. And Darnell Woolfolk's got it left side, plowing ahead. And Darnell Woolfolk with a pickup of about 7.5. Let's look at the rest of the Chick-fil-A starters. Jay, who are you highlighting today?
Well, you'll see the fullback a lot, but watch for Kel Walker coming out of the backfield. He had 2 touchdowns last year against Air Force, leads the team in receptions, very dangerous with the ball on the edges and then through the air.
He also had a touchdown in 2016, was 3 for 38, so he's had success against this team in the last couple of years. They give him 7 on the first down run, make that 8. And once again, Darnell Woolfolk doing what he does, gets the first down out to the 37-yard line. Air Force starters brought to us by Chick-fil-A. Who's your guy today, Jay?
Well, they got a new defensive coordinator, a kind of a simplistic defense. Jordan Jackson, their defensive lineman, is the most talented defender on this team. He had 7 tackles against Navy in the triple option attack earlier this season. Expect to see him play a big game today and try and slow down this offense. And you can see right away Brent Davis saying, I'm coming right at you. You know I want to run the fullback. I'm going to run it straight ahead 2 times in a row. First down. That's a message sent by Brent Davis.
Woolfolk checks out. That's Holton motion. Hopkins has it right side. Calvin Hopkins spins away. There's a flag down. Came in from the back of the play. He took the ball out across the 42, but we'll have to check the marker. And our referee, who we'll hear from momentarily for the first time today, is Mike DeFee. Bryce Holland in there listening in. Holland quoted earlier this week saying, the CIC, it belongs here. Senior leader at center for Jeff Monken's squad. Any idea here, Jay?
They're talking a lot. I think it's going to be on Army coming back here.
There is no foul on the play. Second down.
All right, there you go.
There you go.
Where they threw it looked like they were looking at that offensive line. Army's done a good job lately of not getting those low block penalties, the cut blocks. They had a lot at the beginning of the year with the new rule. They've adjusted better. What Brent Davis has done is have his offensive linemen hit above the waist and then slide down when they're doing the cut blocks, then it's legal.
Yeah, they had to learn, really had to learn how to block all over again. They keep it right up the middle, and it's Connor Slumka once again to the 45-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and a couple.
Tina talked about fullbacks at the beginning or open. To give you some perspective, this year, Army's fullbacks have 1,146 yards on the ground, 16 touchdowns. The leading rusher in college football, Jonathan Taylor, Wisconsin, 1,155 yards. The leading rusher on the ground, Devon Singletary, 15 rushing touchdowns. So they're as good as the best backs in the country. The fullbacks are for Army production-wise.
No question. 3rd and 2 here. And Army best percentage on 4th down if they don't get it. They'd likely go for it here if they don't pick it up. Woolfolk, Darnell Woolfolk into the pile, and he's got the first down to the 48-yard line. Capra made the tackle on him. Got some help from Jeremy Fengelum. And Jay, man, look at you, Phil. You clean up good. New suit, you look
Lost
good.
some weight. There we go.
Slim and trim, your extra points.
For Air Force, they have to be better on 3rd and 4th down than Army. Army's the best in the country cumulatively on those 2 downs. And then defensively, Air Force has got to get the ball out of Hopkins' hands. He's the engine that runs it. For Army, don't turn the ball over. Jeff Monken's team's 12-0 the last 3 years with 0 turnovers. And defensively, stop the fullback. Fagan is the best fullback Air Force has had in a while. They have to be able to stop him.
Calvin Hopkins gives off another fullback, Andy Davidson with a big run. Davidson to the 39 of Air Force. Move those sticks again. First down, Army.
Andy Davidson does such a good job of seeing where the lane is, being able to adjust. Woolfolk is the straight-ahead bull that just bulls his way by sheer will. Andy Davidson does a great job of picking his way, and I love when he does well because in 2016, he had 961 yards, 12 touchdowns. for this team, and he's had to kind of sit behind Woolfolk as Woolfolk has become their workhorse back.
Yeah, indeed. And Jeff Monken said yesterday he's been very impressed with his attitude. That's J.B. Hunter, the right tackle, who's down on the field as they tend to him.
He's the best athlete on that offensive line. He's come a long way from where he was as a freshman, and that'd be a big loss if they lose J.B. Hunter.
Certainly would. They've had Peyton Reeder they weren't sure about. They had Jack Sides, the right guard, ready to go if Reeder, who's the normal starting right guard, was unable to go. But he was able to get in the lineup today and start the game as they continue to tend to J.B. Hunter, the sophomore out of Oceanside, California. And they're going to have to help him off the field, favoring that left leg. .12:01 to go in this opening quarter. No score. 53rd meeting between these two. On just a perfect day here with the sun out. And the two teams huddled up. The Corps of Cadets saw 4,400 poured in. A lot of Air Force folks here as well. Stadium continuing to fill up, a sellout crowd here at Michie Stadium.
It's been a tough year so far for Troy Calhoun and his Air Force squad. They're only 3-5. They did beat Navy, though. And if they can get a win against Army and Navy, it salvages that season for this program.
No question. Air Force win today. They win the CIC back. Army wins. They retain it. Can win it outright if they can beat Navy in December. Left side run there. And
late flag there.
Yeah. Capra involved in the play. He's a guy that Troy Calhoun talked with us about yesterday. Said he's one of our top leaders on the defensive side of the ball. The senior out of Argyle, Texas. 2 tackles last week against Boise State. Had a season high 4 tackles in that win you mentioned, the 35-7 win over Navy.
Personal foul, chop block. Number 73 and number 76 at the second level. 15-yard penalty, replay first down.
So that's Deaton and Reeder, something you just referenced earlier. And we haven't seen a lot the last few weeks, but we did see a lot of that early in the year.
Well, that's your 2 guards, your left guard and your right guard, coming right up in the middle of your screen. And you see, this is not the new rule, this is the old rule. Because Reeder goes high and then Deaton comes down low,
right.
You can't high-low. That's a penalty. That's been a penalty for a while. So backs Army up, and now they're in a poor position.
They are. It's 1st and 23 for the Black Knights. They're back on their side of the field from the 48. Air Force showing pressure. Hopkins going to put it up for the first time. Completes it. And it's caught by Jordan Asbury, who had a big week last week, had a rushing touchdown and a touchdown receiving at Eastern Michigan.
Watch the way that Hopkins throws this ball and delivers. I mean, he looks like a legitimate quarterback in college football.
Yeah.
When we did the game last year out in Colorado Springs, Army couldn't throw the ball. They didn't trust Ahmad Bradshaw. They trusted his legs. He had 265 yards.
An academy record for a quarterback, yeah.
But they didn't trust him throwing it. Because you can drop back and throw the ball, that allows you to be so creative and do so many things. You're so effective running the ball, 4.7 per rush, that defenses have to stack the line.
2nd down and 11 now. Hopkins, Woolfolk puts his head into it. Tina mentioned they do call him the hammerhead. Gets in there and gets a couple, so it's going to bring up 3rd and relatively long. Not the position that Army wants to be in.
No, and they're not in field goal range here, so expect if they get half the yardage that Brent Davis will go for it. We might not see a punt all game.
Yeah.
I mean, both these teams, Air Force leads the country going for it 30 times on 4th down. Army's right behind them, 29. Army at 90% on 4th down is best in the country.
It is best in the country. They were 4 for 4 last week, if we get to that, at Eastern Michigan. Inside of 10 to play in the opening quarter, opening possession of the game. Hopkins looked like he was going to throw, now takes off. He's got room and he's got the first down, and he's dropped at the 25-yard line. Fedulum came up and made the tackle, but Army marches. There's a flag down, though, to gain a 13 if it stands.
Late flag. They just run a quarterback draw here. Great call by Brent Davis. Comes back and then releases. Watch the end of this run. I think if Hopkins stays outside here, he may score right there.
Yeah.
There was an angle.
The result of the play is a first down. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness offense, number 65, 15-yard penalty, will be 1st and 10.
Wow, Bryce Holland, their leader, talked about him a few moments ago, taking a unnecessary roughness penalty, Jay.
That's their captain. He's started 35 consecutive games. Can't have plays like this right in the middle. You saw it right there in the middle of your screen. He comes up and lays into him. You had a great run by your quarterback. You have a first down. You're cruising, and now you back yourself up. Sometimes in these rivalry games, you can be way too revved up. Listen, Army does not want this team to win. Air Force desperately doesn't want Army to win. You got to control your emotions.
Here's Davidson. Good job and a great push up front by Air Force. And you and I both watched back that Navy game, and that is exactly what Air Force did against Navy. Their defensive front was great.
The D-line for Air Force dominated that game. They did not allow Navy to run their offense. They had a struggle on the ground and really just dominated that game from start to finish.
Good play made up front by Jordan Jackson, that sophomore you talked about earlier, Jay. 6'5" and 270 he is. Kyle Johnson there, big part of their defense, a junior, number 40. 3rd on their team in tackles. 2nd in tackles for loss. 2nd down and 8 now for Army. This is the 11th play of the drive. Hopkins hit, spins, took a heavy shot from Fedulum there, who came in and finished him off.
That's Fedulum's 6th tackle on this opening drive. He has. He's been all over the field for this team. Came into the game with 77 tackles. So he's got 83 already on the season.
He had 13 last week.
They brought him off the edge a lot against Navy, and that Navy game is very successful, creating havoc in that backfield.
Yeah, he had 9 tackles in his first career sack in that game. Has a brother, Clayton. It's a safety for the Cincinnati Bengals. 3rd and 5 now for Army. They need the 30. Holt, the motion man. Hopkins trying to get it himself, and does! Kelvin Hopkins, shades of Ahmad Bradshaw early on. And another first down. Army dug themselves out of a hole.
You called it. That's exactly what I thought when I watched this. His ability to pick through. It didn't look like there was any room there. He kind of slithered through, picked his way, and found a way to get the first down. And that is exactly what Ahmad Bradshaw did so well.
That's the split zone follow, they call it, right?
Yeah, last year we hadn't seen that coming into that Air Force game, and then they continued to run it, and Air Force really had no answer. You figure these teams know each other so well that as you come into this game, you're going to have something that you saved in your back pocket, because you have to have some kind of wrinkle that these D coordinators don't know, haven't prepared for, because you know exactly what I'm going to do. I know exactly what you're going to do.
Try.
And you're going to, you got to try to stop it.
You know what's coming. Nearly mirror images in terms of offenses. Not exactly the same, but pretty close.
No, Air Force a little bit more in shotgun. They're running the same triple option offense. Had some interesting conversations with Jeff Monken about where that originated. Fisher to Berry, Paul Johnson, who broke the wishbone first? Of course, there's a discrepancy between Army and Air Force.
Ross Connors, you saw him, number 31, go off for Air Force. They check on him, and this is Kel Walker. And Air Force does a good job stringing him out on the near side. Not much doing there for Kel Walker, who's a home run waiting to happen. Air Force, their home run guy waiting to happen, Ronald Cleveland, unable to play today.
Big loss for Air Force not having Ronald Cleveland on the ground and then in the air. He's the one guy you could throw the ball to. He could break a tackle and take it the distance. Not having him in the game, he got injured. That's a big loss for that team.
2nd down and 8, halfway through this opening quarter. No score in the game. Holt in motion. Darnell Woolfolk, right side, diving his way to the 20-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and short, and the time of possession, Army leads the country this year at 40 minutes and 2 seconds. But how about since 96? Look at that list.
It's impressive, and what they did against Oklahoma was unbelievable. One of the best teams in the country. All they did is hold it for 44 minutes and keep Kyler Murray on the sidelines.
They held it last week for 45 minutes and 12 seconds against Eastern Michigan. So another 3rd down here. Army, 15th play of the drive. Woolfolk bangs his way forward and should have it based on the spot. I think he's got it.
I did too.
Yeah.
By a couple inches. Yeah, they're moving the sticks.
Yep, he got it. He needed to get just before the 17-yard line, and he got there and then some.
This Army offense really kind of came into its own last year when they found the ability and developed the ability to run the ball effectively, to not turn it over, to not have negative plays. That's really what held them back. I talk about it all the time. In 2015, they had 38 fumbles. 2016, 31. Last year, only 7 fumbles. This year, only 6 fumbles the entire year.
They have 6 first downs on this drive, Jay. They've got another fresh set of downs. Davidson. Decent pickup for Davidson inside of the 15 to about the 13-yard line. And helping out on the stop again was Micah Capra, number 90 up front, gain of 4. Our Armed Forces football proudly supported by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. We're down to 5 minutes left in this quarter.
Yeah, it might be 1 quarter each. You get a possession in a quarter. Second quarter, Air Force gets a possession.
Drive over 10 minutes long and counting at this point.
Well, this is what the game was last year out in Colorado Springs.
It was over in like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It was unbelievable.
2nd and 6. Walker goes in motion. Hopkins has it. Hopkins can't get outside. Good job again by that Air Force front. Bagnall coming in to help finish him off there. No linebacker spot. Grant Thiel did a good job. Good contained by him. 3rd down coming up.
They did a good job setting the edge outside, not allowing Hopkins really to get out there free, and then watch 49 Bagnall come in right there and clean it up. He's played better this year. He's really one of those guys truly dedicated to the team, a team player in every sense of the word. Does whatever you need him to do. Played really big against Navy, had 13 tackles in that game.
He did. Darnell Woolfolk behind Hopkins, 17th play of the drive. Woolfolk bangs into the linebacker straight ahead, and it's going to bring up 4th down and short. So
no question about it, they're going for it. There's not even a thought.
No.
You can already see him running on.
Yep.
This is who they become. This is what the analytics told them. They made a commitment to the analytics last year, and it paid huge dividends for Army because they mesh both their scheme as well as the analytics approach, and they're always committed to it. It's paid off huge. I said it earlier, 26 of 29 on 4th down this year, 90% best in the country.
It is indeed 4th and a yard. Hopkins, Woolfolk, and Darnell Woolfolk's got the 1st down. Got enough.
Hopkins tripped coming out. I think his foot got stepped on maybe by a center or guard. Was able to kind of keep his balance and get the handoff. Watch Hopkins come out of here and just kind of trip right there. He got stepped on. But he does a good job, and Woolfolk, the bull, the hammer, just coming in there and bowling his way to a 1st down.
So Darnell Woolfolk came into the game 40 yards away from becoming the 13th player in Academy history to reach 2,000 yards. And he's been a major part of this drive, although he's going to come out right now for a play.
He's got 8 rushes for 31 yards on this drive already. Have you ever seen a drive take up the entire 1st quarter?
No, I haven't.
We had 3 minutes left in the 1st quarter.
Not even all the years we've done football here at Army. Sandon McCoy, he's the fullback. Hopkins has it. Hopkins trying to find a seam. Flag down. And Hopkins takes it down to the 1, but there is a flag down back in the vicinity of the 5-yard line. So we'll have to check the penalty.
This is going to be the 3rd penalty on this offensive line on this drive alone.
Mike DeFee getting the particulars from his crew, and he'll give us the word here momentarily.
Personal foul, chop block, 76 and 65 offense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
So that's on Peyton Reeder and Bryce Holland this time, Jay.
That's what the first penalty was. The first time it was on Deaton and Reeder.
Yes.
So this time again, high-low combination, can't go high and then chop block low. Watch right here in the middle of your screen. You're watching those 2 guys. Low, he makes contact high. It's kind of ticky-tacky, but that's the rule.
It is.
You cannot make contact high and have somebody else cut low.
So now it's 1st and goal all the way back out at the 22-yard line. Hopkins looking to throw, pressure coming, got rid of it, got a man out there diving.
Oh my word, he caught
What a catch!
No, he said they're
he's
out of bounds.
He's out of bounds. It was Asbury that tried to come up with a spectacular catch, but couldn't do it, Jay.
It's a good throw by Hopkins. It's not dangerous. It's where only your receiver can catch it. He got hit as he threw. And watch this effort by Asbury. Boy, that was really close to his elbow being down in bounds. Let's take a look here. There's the ball. There's the elbow. Does that ball move? I think he's got it there. I think they got to take a look at this.
I think they're going to.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. That plays under further review.
Yeah. So they'll send this upstairs to Joe Ryder, our replay official. Steve Fredrickson, the communicator, will get on the headset with referee Mike DeFee. Based on that look, Jay, I'm with you on that. It looked like that elbow was down.
He's got to have contact before he touches out of bounds. That's
right.
The question. There has to be indisputable evidence to overturn it because they called it incomplete. Here he comes. There's the catch. There's the elbow. I believe the elbow is inbounds, so the question becomes, are they certain that he had, and did he finish the catch as well?
This is a really good angle of it.
Yeah,
here.
it's a great angle by our crew. There's the elbow, and there's the ball now. You can see the ball as we roll back there again. The ball definitely makes contact with the ground. I don't think they're going to overturn this. It's an excellent effort by Jordan Asbury.
Big time.
Here's the catch. Wow, what a great look this is.
They called it incomplete on the field. Now it's in the hands of our replay official here today, Joe Ryder. Sellout crowd here at Michie Stadium. 53rd all-time meeting between these two academies. First leg in the Commander-in-Chief Trophy race for Army. Air Force already beat Navy. They can win it today. If they win, Army would retain it and have a chance to win it outright if they were to beat Navy in December in Philly.
They're talking about a lot of things. They're writing stuff down. That, to me, tells you that they're going to overturn this.
Yeah.
They got to get the time right, the yardage right. It's just an unbelievable effort by both Calvin Hopkins to get that ball out there and then Jordan Asbury to lay out and to secure this ball and to try to keep security of that ball through the catch.
After reviewing the play, the runner had his knee in bounds with firm control. It's a catch at the second, so it's second down and goal at the 1 yard line.
What a game-changing play that could very well be throughout the course of this one.
Huge. They were backed up. They had goal to go. Now you get it all the way down inside the 2 yard line.
Goal to go at the 22. So Jordan Asbury continues his hot play here the last couple of weeks. Second and goal. Hopkins in the offense, come back on. Woolfolk, he'll be lined up behind him. 21-yard pass play to Jordan Asbury. Woolfolk gets it, takes it in, touchdown! Army strikes first here against Air Force as they march down the field, a drive that took nearly 13 minutes.
I've never seen anything like that. It's unbelievable.
12:55. 21 plays, 75 yards in 12:55.
Woolfolk was slow to get up there.
He's been dealing with a hamstring.
Yeah, didn't practice on Monday. That's his 32nd touchdown of his career.
Yes.
They have depth, as Tina talked about, 5 fullbacks. That's what's allowed them to be so good at the fullback position, because they have depth. They can bring other guys in and keep their guys fresh. If they did lose Woolfolk, that would be huge.
Fourth drive of 10 or more minutes this season. Only 6 in the entire FBS. Woolfolk with his 5th straight game with a rushing touchdown as John Abercrombie comes on and tacks on the point after, and Jay, Army leads it 7-0.
Asbury laying his body on the line to beat Air Force, and Woolfolk won't be denied, putting it in the end zone, putting Army up.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by USAA. Insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community. By Golden Corral, your choice rules. And by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
Look back through history in this great rivalry. Air Force leads it all time. They've won 18 of the last 21 against Army, but last season Jeff Monken's guys a 21-0 shutout in Colorado Springs, and we've got many servicemen and women here, of course, and over in Afghanistan, the 1st Stryker Brigade Combat Team. We salute you, the 4th Infantry Division. That's the helmet sticker the Army players are wearing today. Thanks for your service, men and women over there and all around the globe. What a day. What a start, Jay. 21 plays, 75 yards, 12:55, capped by a Darnell Woolfolk 1-yard touchdown run. And we're down to 2:05 to go in the opening quarter, and it's 12:30.
They're kicking into the wind here. I'd be ready to return this.
They're gonna. From the 8. That is Saucier with it. Saucier dropped at the 25-yard line. So with 1:57 remaining in the opening quarter, we'll step aside. We'll see Air Force's offense when we come back. Always like a postcard here at Michie Stadium. Just an absolutely beautiful day. And well, we got an opportunity to join our Tops crew bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 Eastern as they'll get you ready for the jam-packed day in the NFL. Don't miss the unmatched analysis and bold predictions from our football experts on that other pregame show right here on CBS Sports Network, presented by Kubota. Jay, time to get a look now at Air Force with 1:57 remaining in the opening quarter in their offense. So the answer has been revealed. The junior, the hometown product, Isaiah Sanders out of Colorado Springs, starts the game.
He had a good game last week. Even though they lost against Boise State at 210 yards passing, 97 on the ground, and a touchdown. Needs to be careful with the ball. Have to protect the ball and make good decisions against this aggressive defense.
And they pitch it out to the outside of the near side, and the Falcons get a good pickup there from Caden Remsburg, the sophomore out of Newton, Kansas. The rest of their offense brought to us by Chick-fil-A. Who you go with?
Yeah, their fullback Cole Fagan. The key to their offense, especially today, Jay Bateman and his defense pitched a shutout last year in Colorado Springs. Fullback production opens up the rest of this offense, and Fagan is better than anybody they had in a number of years at that position.
Father played for the San Francisco 49ers. Defensive end was a good one in the late 80s and into the 90s, and there's a catch, and it's made by Joseph Saucier. First down, Air Force.
He's a big play waiting to happen.
Yep.
27 yards of reception. 2 excellent plays to start this drive for Air Force.
Last 4 games, Saucier averaging 17.9 yards a touch. That was Fagan, who you just touched on, Jay. And let's get a look now at Army's defense, brought to us by Chick-fil-A. Who do you go with today?
Kenneth Brinson will be on the end of the line. He's especially good against triple option offenses because of his length and his ability to both play the quarterback and the pitch at the same time. It's really tough to run towards him and run the triple option.
Announced earlier this
False
week.
start there.
Yep, announced earlier this week was Brinson is a finalist for the Campbell Trophy.
Offense, number 61, 5-yard penalty.
That is on the right tackle, Scott Haddock, with 42 ticks of the clock remaining in the opening quarter. Clock running, 2nd and 12 now. Ball just shy of the 40-yard line. Sanders pitches it, and knocked down right away was Saucier as Javari Bordeaux was waiting for him.
Air Force is really lucky that this ball wasn't a fumble. Saucier is able to hold on to it. A good job setting the edge, and Boudreau beats the offensive player who's coming to try and block him. Excellent effort there.
14th tackle of the season for Bordeaux. And just like that, the first quarter's over. 53rd all-time meeting between Army and Air Force. And the Black Knights have a 7-0 lead thanks to a 21-play drive to begin the game. Great to have you with us today. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network. Start of the second quarter. Great to have you with us alongside my broadcast partner Jay Feely, Tina Servasio. My name is Ben Holden. Time now to get a look at the day in the life of a cadet, brought to you by Today's Military. And Isaiah Sanders, his father was a colonel in the Air Force, and that's his daily routine. We got up a little bit before that the other day, but not normally, but that's their day, and it's a long one.
Both of these academies have tremendous respect for what they do on the field, what they do in the classroom, and then certainly what they do when they're serving our country.
No question about it. 3rd and 16 now. Falcons 37.7 on 3rd down this season. Sanders got time over the middle, too high, and out of the waiting hands there was McClinton. He had a hand on it and couldn't reel it in. So 4th and 16. And we're going to see the punt team for Air Force here, because they've got a 4th and 16 facing them at the 45-yard line.
He was looking for Marcus Bennett. Bennett slipped on his break. It almost was intercepted because of that. I think if he doesn't slip, he's going to have a play on that ball.
So here is Jake Conkion, who kicks off, does the place kicking, and does the punting, completing the hat trick for the kicking position. Reynolds back in the lineup this week. Bobble it, held on to it. Mike Reynolds. And a good run back. He got it out over the 25-yard line. Waters over there to make the stop on him, came flying in for the backside. Army gets it back after a 36-yard punt, their second possession, leading 7-0. For the second quarter, 7-0 Army on top, and the game's big, but the build-up all week is big as well. Tina's got more on that.
Oh, it is, Ben. Thursday night here at West Point, the Academy held a bonfire. Now, Army only does bonfires before the Air Force and Navy games. The Mechanical Engineering Club builds either a ship or a jet to burn atop of the kindling, and up in flames went the Air Force jet with hundreds of cadets jumping and dancing all through the night. Now, we saw the prisoner exchange before kickoff, and the Air Force cadets, according to a couple of football players, told me their pranks were driving the Army players crazy all week. They were taking chairs out of the mess hall. They even spray painted inside the Air Force Navy tunnel, and in return, Kelvin Hopkins told me one Army freshman took all the Air Force cadets' personal items and threw them outside. See, the Navy rivalry is huge, and it is historic, but there is a level of respect here. There's some little extra edge, though, when Army plays Air Force, and there was quite a buzz this week on Post.
Yeah, there was, Tina. That's great stuff, and I wouldn't try to roast a marshmallow around that fire, would you? But yeah, there's respect for both the rivalries, but in this rivalry, there's something different. There's a different edge to it. Slumka, right side, not much there. Good job again, that front for Air Force. They're quick and very active. They got to him in a hurry as he was stopped by Ross Connors.
Ball kind of comes out right there at the end.
Yeah, it did.
They got it back. That's something these fullbacks have been really good at. Last year, all the carries, the fullbacks had 0 fumbles on the year. This year, the very first time a fullback touched it, Woolfolk fumbled against Duke. That was the first fumble they've had since then.
Yeah. Ball protection is each and every year become better and better as Walker goes nowhere. Good work by Capra up front. Again, that front very active, brings up 3rd down and long.
When I watched the Navy game and I watched what Air Force did defensively, it looked eerily similar to me. It looked just like what Army did against Air Force so successfully last year in Colorado Springs and getting that shutout. I asked Brent Davis and Jay Bateman both about it, what they saw as they were watching film, and they said, yeah, it looked exactly like our defense. You know, they kind of, Air Force took that scheme that was so successful for Army, implemented, and did a really good job against Navy. You're seeing a lot of the same things here today.
Army 4 of 5 on 3rd down. They need 11. Hopkins, pressure coming, gets away on the run, fires it, and cannot connect. Incomplete, and they can't convert. Pressure was applied by Jordan Jackson.
Huge stop for Air Force. After last drive, Army had 120 yards on that drive.
45 yards
They
of
had
penalties.
3 penalties of 15 yards to continue to back them up. Didn't matter.
Yep.
Got the touchdown. So to come out and to get a stop and to put a little fear in that Army offense, it's not going to be that easy, and to get the ball back for your offense, that's huge.
Andrew Smith awaiting the punt of Schrag.
He bobbled the ball. He dropped one last week, but he got it off and got a great punt.
He did. Fair catch called for by Andrew Smith, the senior out of Gainesville, Georgia. Air Force has the football when we come back to Mikey. Air Force down 7-0. They're getting the football for the second time once we resume play. Now, though, let's take a look at this week's Where Are They Now? Brought to us by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Nate Combs, Army linebacker from 09 to 12. Interception and a fumble recovery for a touchdown against Air Force in 2012. Nate is currently an Army captain serving in Fort Benning, Georgia. He was a fun guy. Got to know him a little bit that year. And thank you for your service down there in Fort Benning.
That was Army's last win until they went out to Colorado Springs and beat Air Force last year.
Correct.
We kind of talked about that with Jeff Monk, and we said, does that change the mindset for your team coming into this game? He said, yeah, we have a different confidence because we went out there and beat them last year and shut them out. He said, in fact, it's a little disconcerting to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want us to be overconfident. He said the biggest thing is we can't give up big plays. They gave up a big play on the catch to Saucier when Gibson lost him on the first drive, but they were able to get a stop.
So here we go with Air Force and their second possession of the game. Sanders hands off. And from behind, Brinson dragging down Caden Remsburg. And a pickup of about 4 on first down. That'll work for Air Force. They'll take that all day long. There's Brinson.
Really late flag thrown in as they were getting up.
Yeah, down about the 33-yard line. Kenneth Brinson, mentioned earlier, one of 13 finalists for the Campbell Trophy, the academic Heisman
After
in
the
college
play,
football.
unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 19. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's on James Nautigal. Key fixture in Army's defense. Here it is, Jay.
It was late at the end of the play. Right
That's
there
number 19,
at the bottom of your screen. Nautigal gives him a little shot. They got to control their emotions, Army does. They got a penalty on their first drive. Holland did. Now Nautigal gets one.
Monken spit and fire down there at Nautigal, and Army's already got 4 penalties for 60 yards. Air Force just 1 for 5 yards. And Nautigal trots back onto the field now. He's probably happy in more ways than one to get away from his head coach. He was getting after him pretty good, but it's a big game, and he should be.
Well, he should be fired up, but he has to control himself.
Yeah.
They all do. You want to go out there. You want to be physical. You want to play to the whistle, but you can't add anything and hurt your team.
4-yard pickup by Sanders there on first down. He keeps it. Christensen, first one to meet him there, and he's stopped in his tracks. They're going to give him progress. They're going to mark him down at the 47-yard line. Big third down coming up here. Inside of 12 minutes to play in the quarter. Air Force, pun intended, going a little bit faster.
Well, they can take a shot here if they want.
They're 0 for 1 on third down, and Fagan got the football, and they're going to have to make a choice here. They've gone for it, as you said, more than anyone on fourth down.
30 times on fourth down. They're going to go for it here. I don't have any doubt in my mind.
Then again.
Well, the punting unit is coming on, and I don't understand this at all. You know what Army can do and how long they can keep the ball. They had it for almost 13 minutes on their first drive. It's 4th and 2. You're across the 50. I disagree vehemently with this call.
Yeah, I'm shocked about it too. First punt for Conkey was 37 yards.
You're averaging 4.3 a rush on the year.
Conkey hangs it up. Fair catch called for by Reynolds at the 11, and Reynolds makes it. So Army's defense does the job against Troy Calhoun's offense. They got to punt it away again. 34-yarder, 7-0 Army. Like a postcard, love coming here to Mikey Stadium. This game so far has Army on top 7-0, and next Saturday these two teams are right back at it here on CBS Sports Network. We'll be back for Army and Lafayette at noon Eastern. Be followed by Air Force welcoming in the Lobos of New Mexico at 3:30, right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. The Commander-in-Chief's trophies breakdown. Air Force has won the most. They've won 20, won it 2 years ago. Army has never
That's what I was going to say.
In back-to-back years. In fact, Jay, entering this game today, the first time since 1978 that Army possessed the CIC and played Air Force here at Michie Stadium. So after Air Force decides to punt, Army starts at the 11-yard line, and if this ends up in an 89-yard touchdown drive, Troy Calhoun's going to be kicking himself.
Yeah, it was 4th and 2. He was across the 50 at the 45-yard line. He decided to punt. You can't give Army. You watch the Oklahoma game playing against athletes that are way better than Army across the board, and yet they continued to possess the ball. 4 drives against Oklahoma of 16 plays or more. You can get caught on the sidelines watching the paint dry.
Well, it happened last week in Army's win against Eastern Michigan. Chris Creighton didn't go onside with a kick. Army got it, chewed up almost the remaining 7 minutes and change of the game, and on top of it, they scored a touchdown. Hopkins, tough run there, slithering his way to the 19-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2 for the Black Knights. Calvin Hopkins missed the game a couple of weeks ago and dinged his hip that he had surgery on earlier this year in the game against San Jose State. Gain of 5 on that play. Still not 100%, but he's close and back out there playing in this one.
Could see Brent Davis take a shot here. It wouldn't surprise me. They've gone for it on 4th down, all the way backed up around their 20 before.
Army's 4 of 6 on 3rd down. Hopkins following Holland. And I believe he's got it based on the spot I'm seeing.
When Calvin Hopkins wasn't in the game against Miami and Cam Thomas started at quarterback, that's a play that Brent Davis didn't have the confidence to call. Didn't do it until late in the 3rd, 4th quarter of that game, even though he had a number of opportunities. With Calvin Hopkins, he's done such a good job with this offense protecting the ball that Brent Davis really has tremendous confidence, way more than I thought he would have at this point in Calvin Hopkins' first season running this offense. We watched Ahmad Bradshaw kind of develop into the quarterback that he became last year, but that first year, he made a lot of mistakes, turned the ball over way too much, fumbled way too much.
It's a sunglass kind of day for Brent Davis. You saw him there in the coach's booth. Backside pressure coming. Hopkins took a heck of a shot. And he got a short pickup as Grant Donaldson, the sophomore, came in and leveled him.
Lucky to hold on to this ball. This is the kind of ball security that he's talking about. Coming back across from the backside. They didn't get a hand on the ball. If Air Force can come across, you know you're going to get this hit and smash on that ball. You can knock that ball out. That's what Nautigal did for Army last week against Eastern Michigan when he came down with the tomahawk chop right on the ball.
Yep. Donaldson, a sophomore, playing in his 7th game. Hopkins again. That front again doing a good job. Pressure applied, and linebacker Kyle Johnson coming in to clean up and finish up. Brings up 3rd and about 6 for Army.
Much better on the last drive, and then this drive for the Air Force defense. Kind of settled down after Army had their way. The only thing that stopped Army on that first drive was penalties. 3 big penalties that backed them up 45 yards, but they scored a touchdown anyways. Air Force now has kind of found their way. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get comfortable, to understand the feel of the game. They've done a good job, but this is a big 3rd down.
3rd and 5, they're calling it. Nearing the midway point of the 2nd quarter. Pitch on the outside. 1st down run, Army. It's Jordan Asbury who picks it up.
They line Kel Walker up outside. He comes back in and cracks, and then they run the option the other way. Good play design. You fake to the fullback. You get outside. Hopkins gets hit hard here. As an Army quarterback, you have to understand that you're going to take a lot of beating. You're going to take hits. You have to draw the defense in and pitch at the last moment and be tough enough to continue to take those hits time and time again.
That was Donaldson that laid the hit on him. Here's Davidson just getting him from behind there was Connors, or Davidson might still be running.
Calvin Hopkins took a shot against San Jose earlier in the year on a play like that. Hurt his hip. That hip has kind of been bothering him, a little sore.
Had surgery on it earlier this year, as I mentioned, and taking some shots in a game like this. You know it's going to be even more intense than any other game you play in. 2nd and 5 now, Army. Sandon McCoy, the fullback. Hopkins keeps it, takes another shot. Fedulum trying to strip that out, and they think they did.
No, that was late. They already called it down.
Yeah. Fedulum came in and yank it out. So indeed, yes, forward progress stopped.
You can tell how windy it is.
Yes.
When he opens up his mic, you can't necessarily see it as you're watching. We can see it when we look at the flags up above.
Donaldson had him. Ball came out.
They whistled him down.
They did.
So when they say forward progress stops and they blow the whistle, that's the end of the play.
So Hopkins coming off on 3rd down and 4, and Cam Thomas.
So now you don't have the opportunity to pass with Cam Thomas, so expect a run here.
Yes. And Cam Thomas runs it, and he's just short. He's a yard short of the 1st down. Does Monken dare here?
They go for it, I think. Even with Cam Thomas, I think they're going to trust their offense. They didn't change their philosophy on 4th down against Miami when Cam Thomas was the quarterback. It changed their play calling. They didn't throw the ball near as much. They didn't run as much triple option. Now, Cam Thomas did a good job, and as he progressed in that game, in the 2nd half, Brent Davis kind of opened up that offense.
Hopkins is back in the game.
I think they give it to Woolfolk here and trust that offensive line and their bull at fullback.
Darnell Woolfolk, hand in the ground, gets the football, breaks away! Darnell Woolfolk into the open field, trying to take it in. Can he outrun the defender? No, but he takes it inside. As Zane Lewis caught him inside of the 10 down to the 6, 1st and goal, Army, a 52-yard run.
If you're Air Force, you have to know that Woolfolk is going to get this ball. Watch the hole, though, as we roll this here, that the offensive line creates. Look at that hole right there. Just excellent blocking, and then Woolfolk off with a huge gain. But as a defense, you have to understand the situation. Cam Thomas is in there. He's not going to throw the ball. They're not going to run the triple option as much. Focus on the fullback. They didn't do it. Army pops him for a big one.
So Darnell Woolfolk, now the 13th member in West Point football history to reach 2,000 yards after that run. Here's Hopkins now. Hopkins finds the end zone. Calvin Hopkins takes it in, and he completes the march. 6-yard run. Army started this drive at the 11-yard line.
And they started this drive after Troy Calhoun did not go for it on 4th and 2 from the 45-yard line, and it bites him in the butt. Army goes all the way down. They lose their quarterback. The backup comes in. Doesn't matter. That's a disheartening drive for Air Force.
No question about it. Hopkins, his 8th rushing touchdown of the season. And he caps it off. The march of 89 yards to the end zone with a 6-yard run. Potter will hold. Abercrombie, who's been great since taking over at the kicking spot, and Army with 4:03 to play in the half, up 14-0.
4th down conversion by Woolfolk, getting into that 2nd level and busting a big one. And the backup quarterback, Cam Thomas, no problem putting it in the end zone.
They say home is where the heart is. It's where a team becomes a family. Where tradition and superstition are one and the same. Home is where greatness happens.
The Black Knights are bowl eligible.
Army, for the 2nd year, has won it.
CBS Sports Network, the home of Army football.
CBS, the Super Bowl season continues tomorrow. Regional action including Pittsburgh and Baltimore, and 2 young guns battle it out when Mahomes and Kansas City clash with Mayfield and Cleveland. Check your local listings and kick off your day with the NFL Today, presented by Jeep at 12 Eastern. Let's get down to the field. It's Tina time. Tina Servasio down there with former Army Superintendent Bob Caslin and Boomer Esiason.
Yes, that's right, Ben. Two very special guests, and Lieutenant General retired Robert Caslin receiving the Gerald Ford Legacy Award as part of the Remington Trophy. What a reception you got from this Corps of Cadets. What does that mean to you to be back?
Oh, it's wonderful to be back. I love the Corps of Cadets, but you know, I think if the average American wants to know what's right with our country, just look at the Corps of Cadets and you'll find it right there. And to hang around with such inspiring men and women is just a thrill just to be back.
And Lieutenant General Caslin, you've been a big part of the Boomer Esiason Foundation. What is the connection with the Remington Trophy and, of course, the former superintendent?
Well, we started the Remington Trophy named after my president, my foundation, Dave Remington, two-time Outland Trophy Award winner at Nebraska. And we wanted to honor a legacy tradition. So we started the Gerald R. Ford Award. Gerald R. Ford was the first one to receive that award. And since obviously we named it after him, and we wanted to give the Legacy Award to somebody who represents the best that we have to offer. First at the position of center, but also the way they carry themselves when they're finished playing. And certainly General Caslin needs no introduction in that regard. So he is the perfect person to win this year's award when it comes to legacy.
Boomer, good to see you here on our broadcast here on CBS. And Lieutenant General Caslin, great to see you back as the 59th superintendent. Thank you, gentlemen. Back to you.
Great stuff, Tina. And two former, well, they're always Maryland Terrapins, but Tina went to Maryland, so of course due to Boomer. And congrats to Bob Caslin. Great to see him. He was awesome when he was a soup here. We used to see him ride out on the Harley.
Love him when he rode out, revving that Harley up.
Yeah.
Boomer knows about running quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He rushed for about 1,600 yards in his pro career.
Yeah. So right now you got 4:03 until halftime here, Jay. Army's on top 14-0. The time of possession 21-21 to 4:36. Air Force has run just 9 plays. Army has run 35. Sanders got time. Open target right at the stick. And going to be about a yard short. Caught by Lewis.
This is what I think they're going to have to do to move this ball and be successful. Throw the ball through the air. Tough to do in this windy conditions. Nice little comeback, 10 yards. Gets second short.
Yep. A short yard indeed. Sanders faked the handoff fullback and he'll pick it up, but he was buckled backwards. Pretty good stick there by James Nautigal, always aggressive from that linebacker spot. Armed Forces football proudly supported today by Golden Corral.
Number 92, Idris Patterson came in there, laid a pop as well. I think it's going to be tough running the ball. Army's so good. 97 yards rushing. They're giving up a game. That's 8th best in the country.
Picked up 3 on that run to get the first down. Sanders has it. Sidestepped one would-be tackler. Riley waiting for him. And he uses his link there to lean forward and pick up about 6.
That was Nautigal who came in and had an opportunity to make the play. He got the penalty earlier. He's been so good for them. When he's had issues, it's being too aggressive and not breaking down at the moment of contact and running by plays, something that Jay Bateman has brought up to us. That's what he did right there. And Sanders was able to get a big gain.
Nautigal last year, 10 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a sack against Air Force, and Army's 21-0 win. Sanders, time, over the middle, pitch and catch, first down, Falcons inside of Army territory. Riley on the tackle, and it was Gerard Sanders with the first down catch. Sanders 19.
Sanders to Sanders, same play, just run a little comeback. Army giving them a big cushion and then not able to make the tackle and picking up some extra yards.
Sanders, his 12th catch of the season, second on the squad. Sanders puts his head down and gets about 6 on the run there, Jay. So they're effective so far in this drive.
They're moving the ball. Desperately need an answer to what Army has done so far. Going up 14-0, 2 huge, long, time-consuming drives, and this Air Force offense has to have an answer. And I really believe you have to go for it here if you get to 4th down.
No question. No question about it. 2 punts already for the Falcons. The last one really cost them. Army went 89. Air Force going back to the air. That's what they do well. And it's It's caught once again. Second catch on the drive by Brandon Lewis. Gain of 18.
Again, the slot receiver. That wasn't a comeback. They went to the sideline there. A good job by Sanders finding the weakness in Army zone and exploiting it.
1st and 10. They're inside of the red zone. Sanders, lead block flag came in from the back. Check the penalty flag, though, with 1:14 to play in this half.
And this one's going to back Air Force up.
Would be their second penalty of the game. Lengthy discussion here.
They had a discussion like this earlier and then didn't call a penalty on Army.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, number 66 and 68. 15-yard penalty, replay first down.
So Laufenberg and Mitchell, 66 and 68 respectively, they're guilty of what Army's done twice.
Twice, yeah, exactly. The same thing on the left side of the line right here, coming up, high, low. There's the chop, and then the guard has a little bit, I don't know about that one. He didn't make he has to make contact. He has to make contact here, and then you're going low.
Right.
If you're within 1 yard of the ball, the line of scrimmage, you can come in and cut from the side. I don't think that should have been called.
Well, it's 1st and 25 now. Sanders 3 for 3 on the drive, throwing it and trying to make it 4 of 4, and he does.
Yeah, they pick up maybe a yard.
And it's caught by the tight end, Cade Wagaspack. 6'2" junior out of Gonzales, Louisiana.
Army had pressure.
So timeout here. Air Force has 2 remaining with 53 seconds to play in the half. Just a 1-yard gain on the pass to Cade Wagaspack. We'll step aside here at Michie Stadium. Beautiful day and a good one here so far. 54 seconds to play until halftime, and once that's completed, we'll get you to our studio in New York. Coming up on the Ram Halftime Report, powered by Ram Trucks. You can join Brent Stover, Kevin Carter, Christian Fourier, and Bruce Gradkowski for scores, highlights, and a lot more from around the country. And they'll have first half analysis of this game and a whole lot more coming up at the half. 1st Stryker Brigade, the combat team, the 4th Infantry Division. They're over in Afghanistan. They're loving what they're seeing so far, Jay. And Calvin Hopkins had the 2nd touchdown. 6-yard run, capping off that 89-yard drive, and then little Selly over there. I like it.
So cool. I love seeing these shots.
I do too.
Honoring our men and women, serving our country.
Yes,
my brother,
sir.
I'm sure he's watching. He played at Air Force. He's serving our country in Alaska right now for the Air Force. Nick Feely. Appreciate it, Nick.
That's awesome. Thanks for your service. 2 timeouts left for Air Force. 2nd and 23 now. Sanders stands in, got a man open. Intercepted! Intercepted! They went to Sanders, and it was picked off back there playing center field. As Sanders makes a key mistake as Reynolds came up with the interception. Huge turnover.
Sanders goes late down the middle. Reynolds makes some play. And Army stuffs Air Force again.
4,400 strong in the Corps at every Army home game, and that's our view of the Corps today, brought to you by M-Corps. Mike Reynolds coming up with a big-time interception as Air Force put together a solid drive. Jay, his 2nd INT is interception of the year.
Well, and it starts, Reynolds gets the interception, but it starts with the pressure. Watch West come on a little game that Bateman has here and push the pocket, and they get contact with Sanders. He's late going down the middle, but the pocket collapses, and you can see the ball just hang up in the wind and allow Reynolds to come across and make that interception.
Reynolds practiced all week, had a lower body injury, his 2nd pick of the year, and Amadeo West, what a story he is. Basically missed the last 2 years with a couple of serious injuries. Jay Bateman very proud of his comeback and loves the young man he is. So 46 seconds remaining. Army from the 4-yard line. Hopkins Gives it off to Davidson. Nothing fancy coming here, Jay. They just want to get out of the half with a 14-0 lead like they did last year in this game.
Yeah, and Troy Calhoun knows with only 2 timeouts that he can't stop the clock.
Yep. Here's Isaiah Sanders.
And I go back to that 4th and 2 decision by Troy Calhoun when it was 7-0, choosing, even though you were across the 50, to punt the ball. You give it to Army. They get it at their 10. And they go 90 yards and score a touchdown and go up 14-0, and now you're in trouble.
Huge, huge turning point in this game. Army will snap it one more time, and he'll run off the field. Hopkins, who came out for 1 play. Jeff Monken's guys, Monken's men, on top 14-0. That's the end of the first half. Army leads Air Force, 53rd installment of it, 14-0. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network. Inching closer to the start of the second half here with Army on top of Air Force, 14-0. Great to see you and be with you. As always, a pleasure and an honor to be here at Michie Stadium with Jay Feely. My name is Ben Holden. Tina Servasio will join us in a minute. Jay, a first half dominated again by Army for a second straight year against Air Force. Long, sustained drives, moving down the field, finishing it with touchdowns. On 4th down, it started here. Woolfolk gets it, gets into the second level. Big gain, sets Army up. Even though Calvin Hopkins was out, he comes back in, and Army kind of did whatever they wanted. They had a number of penalties. That didn't stop them. Woolfolk got into the end zone, and Hopkins gets into the end zone. And then it finished on this. Air Force trying before the half to get back in it. They get pressure. Reynolds gets the pick. It was 14-0. It felt like it was a much bigger lead than that. Yeah, that was the Reynolds wrap to the first half, I suppose. Time now for our numbers. Our first half stats brought to us by Your Exchange. I mean, there's so much to pick from. Normally I ask you what grabs your eyes, but I think everything probably does. Well, time of possession certainly huge in favor of Army. Look at the rushing yards. 174 for Army, 33 for Air Force. I mean, both these teams run the triple option and run the ball, but Air Force not able to move the ball. Army doing what they wanted, sustaining drives, not turning it over. If they eliminate penalties, that was pretty much a perfect first half. It certainly was. Army will kick it away. And we'll see if the Falcons can do something with it. Saucier on the return. And he gets out over the 20-yard line, does Saucier. Let's get down to Tina Servasio, who had a chance to talk with both coaches. Tina. All right, Ben. Well, when I spoke to Jeff Monken, he said, of course, he was so happy with that big turnover by the defense, but he really wants the defense to close in more on the wide receivers. He said Air Force is getting way too open. We have to, quote, snug up on those routes. Something I've also observed on the sideline from Kelvin Hopkins. He came in. That hip is bothering him. It continues to bother him. I was told the kid is tough. He's going to continue to go out there and play. Troy Calhoun says we just have to be more stout against the run. Yes, and thank you, Tina. DJ Hammond has started this second half, and he comes out firing, Jay, with a strike down to the 42-yard line of Army, a gain of 32. It was caught by Marcus Bennett. See if it changes here with Hammond running the offense. He's a sophomore out of Hampton, Georgia. Found out the morning of the Navy game he was starting, and he played very well in that game, Jay. He certainly did. They only had 33 rushing yards in the first half. Air Force did 5 receptions, 77 yards, and come out slinging it. That's where they've been able to make plays, is through the air. Here he goes again, a low throw, but reaching down to reel that catch in. The third grab of the game for Brandon Lewis. So what Army did defensively, well, it wasn't pretty for Air Force on offense in the first half. They made the decision on 4th and 2 to punt. It backfired. Army drove the length of the field, scored a touchdown. Desperately need points here to get back in this game. 3rd and 3 now. Given name is Donald Hammond. He's under pressure and throws it away. Jay Bateman brought the heat off the corners. It's 4th and 3. He was looking for Andrew Smith, was Donald Hammond. You have to go for it here. 4th and 3 from the 35. You didn't do it in the first half. Sure, that's something Troy Calhoun is kicking himself, regretting that decision. Yep. Numbers on Sanders there, you saw him. 4th down conversions, the most attempts in the FBS at 30. Huge play for the Falcons. They need 3. Hammond's got it, runs for it, gets the first down. He's shoved out of bounds.
Late flag there, real late.
Riley hit him. Yep, there is a flag down. And another one comes in as well. It's a rivalry game, an emotional, intense game. We've seen a little bit of emotion flow over in this one, more so from Army. A couple of undisciplined penalties in the first half.
You might see another cut block penalty here against Air Force. So 1 against Air Force in the first half, 3 against Army.
Our referee, Mike DeFee, he's thorough.
They've had a lot of conversations. Every time they have, it's been the chop blocks. The combination high-low.
Here's the verdict.
Personal foul. It'll go block below the waist on the offense. 15-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
And let's look back here. A penalty called on Troy Calhoun's offensive group, Jay.
That's be a huge penalty tier. Let's look for it. You're looking for, okay. All right, so what happens now? You can't come from outside the tackle box back into the field of play and block low. That's something Army got called on earlier in the season. I think it was Asbury who did it.
Yeah.
That is a distinct rule. You have to come out. You can come back in and block.
Yeah.
You got to block head up. You got to block it below the waist. You can't come in and block below the waist. Such a huge penalty. Air Force gets the conversion on 4th down. They're going on this drive. That's just a mental mistake on Air Force, and it forces a punt.
Jake Conkey on to punt for the 3rd time, 36 yards and 34 in his first 2 punts of the day. Reynolds lets it bounce. Can Air Force save it? And they do.
It's an excellent job by Air Force, but Reynolds should have come up and fair caught that ball. I think it may have crossed.
It did.
And it did.
It did. They're calling it a touchback, Jay.
In college football, it's the ball. So if that ball goes across the goal line, it's a touchback. Air Force unable to down.
Early stages of the second half. Army on top, 14-0 against Air Force. What do you say we go back to 1988 in Philadelphia? Army and Navy. Ben Barnett opened the scoring for Army with a 1-yard touchdown run after a Navy comeback attempt. Brian McWilliams put Army up for good in a 20-15 win for the Black Knights over the Mids that day. And only 35 days to go in the countdown to America's game, the Army-Navy game presented
under further review
by USAA on CBS Sports. And you heard right there the referee, they're taking a look back at this play, the play that Air Force thought and hoped they had downed just before the goal line, Jay.
So if this ball crosses the goal line at all, it's a touchback. It's not his feet. In the NFL, it would be the body, but it's the ball. And you have that official standing right there watching exactly down the line, and he called it a touchback. So do you have any evidence to overturn his call? I don't believe so. He's looking at it.
That's Terry Jones, the back judge. And it was Abraham Nuno that thought he saved it.
And what led to that punt, you had a 4th down conversion by Air Force. And you get a penalty for an illegal low block, coming back inside, a poor decision, a mental error going low when you know that's illegal. I can't come back in and block below the waist.
After review, the ruling on the field stands, touchback, 1st down.
All right, so it stands, and it's a touchback, and
so
Army will have it.
Instead of having a 1st down around the 30-yard line going in, now you give Army the ball back at the 20-yard line. You get no points. You don't get back in this game. It's a tough sequence there for Air Force.
Air Force cheerleaders trying to get their group fired up. There's Calvin Hopkins trotting back on. Came out for 1 play. You mentioned it. And at halftime there as Cam came on at his backup spot. Cam Thomas came in. And then Hopkins came in and scored a 6-yard touchdown. Hopkins left side. Good pursuit. Bagnall's got him wrapped up and drops him. And they're going to give him the 21-yard line. The first half possessions, Jay, for Army. They worked out pretty well for Jeff Monken and Brent Davis and the offensive group.
Well, it looked a lot like last year. They had the 1 punt. They didn't punt the ball at all last year at Colorado Springs. The 2 long drives. 75 yards and 89 yards. That 75-yard first drive was really 120 yards of offense because they had 3 penalties.
You know, a lot of days I'll wake up and say, by the end of the day, I didn't think I'd see or hear or do that today. I didn't think I'd hear that or see it or say it. Darnell Woolfolk, productive first half out of him. It's not often, Jay, Woolfolk is not productive. He is such a load to tackle.
Had an excellent first half. 11 attempts, 87 yards, averaging 7.9 a rush. And the touchdown, that was helped by that 52-yard run on 4th down.
Yep. Became the 13th player in Army football history to hit 2,000 rushing yards in his career on that long run.
You know you have to key on him. You know that you have to stop him. Air Force has been unable to do that.
12 carries for 90 yards and a touchdown for Woolfolk so far today. He gets the call again, puts his head down, and it's going to set up a 4th down, and looks like called a long one.
This one will be interesting. You're at your own 29-yard line. You have a 14-0 lead. And does Jeff Monken decide now? I know the analytics would say yes, you go for it here.
Yeah, but
he told us, we asked him one time, how many times did you go against the analytics the entire year last year?
Once.
One time. And they're going to punt here, so I would say that they're going against that. I think it's the right decision,
yeah.
though. If you don't get it and Air Force gets a stop and you give them the ball back at the 30-yard line going in, now you've helped them really get back in this game. Now remember, Schrag mishandled the first punt in the first half and dropped one last week against Eastern Michigan.
47 on the first punt. Got time, although Fedulum got in there as Andrew Smith is back and lets it bounce. And it'll be down just inside of the 30-yard line.
Good 40-yard punt by Schrag. Got it off. Air Force gets the stop that they need.
42-yard punt. The Corps of Cadets loving that. Army on top, 14-0.
Hawkins, we wanted to send a special shout out from the 332nd Air Expeditionary Wing from our deployed location in Southwest Asia. Go Air Force!
Beat Army!
Greetings from the 455th Air Expeditionary Wing here at Bagram Airfield, Afghanistan. We want to send a special message out to the Bolt Brotherhood and all the Falcons out there. Go Air Force!
Beat Army!
Good stuff, all part of this great rivalry. And let's check in with the Army soldiers over there in Afghanistan, the 4th Infantry Division, 1st Stryker Brigade Combat Team. Army honoring the 4th Infantry Division today. That's their helmet sticker they're wearing, and it's a beautiful day. Great to have you with us with Jay Feely, Tina Servasio on the field. My name is Ben Holden. Carlo Generini's our producer, Matt Plundo, our director, and Mike Nastri, our AD, and all the great folks in our truck. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you for this one.
Certainly is, Ben. You look around, the stadium is packed.
Yep.
They're loving the fact that their Army West Point team is winning this game. Air Force desperately needs a drive. They had it down inside the 40, unable to convert because of penalties. Hammond threw a strike on first down.
He did.
Last series.
Hands it off here, and Army getting to the ball quickly. Although about a 4-yard pickup there on first down. The run, courtesy of Caden Remsburg, the sophomore, and Nautical involved in the tackle.
Air Force averaging 255 yards a game. They only have 43 yards rushing on the game today.
Armed Forces Football is proudly sponsored today by USAA. 2nd and 6, Air Force trying to find the end zone.
They've been going to the slots when they've taken shots through the air.
Hammond, nowhere to go. Good pursuit on the outside. Jacob Covington comes up with a big play, a loss of 3.
Tried to run the option. Didn't really put it in the belly of the fullback. That didn't draw anybody in. Army wasn't fooled at all. Jay Bateman's defense playing stout against the run. You figure these teams know the triple option so well. They know what you're going to do. They see it every day in practice. You got to have answers.
Air Force 0 of 3 on 3rd down. And there's a flag. It's going to be on Air Force. Another costly penalty.
False start. Offense. Number 61. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Scott Haddock. It's his 2nd penalty of the day on him. So now makes it a third and a lot longer than it was. Each team with 4 penalties. Air Force 4 for 40, Army 4 for 60. There's Bateman, 3rd and 19 now.
Air Force looking for a bit of luck. There's a rainbow that just came over the stadium. It's beautiful right now.
Back behind the reservoir across the street from us. Hammond, bullet delivered and caught. Out to the 44-yard line. It's Gerard Sanders with a catch. First down, Air Force.
Every time they've thrown, they've gone to the slot. A good strike by Sanders. He's thrown 2 balls, both really good throws.
Yeah.
He struggled in warm-ups when he was throwing the ball. I was down there watching both Sanders and Hammond both struggled in warm-ups.
Gain of 17 on that pitch and catch. Sanders 2 for 46 yards. Catching the football back to the air, and that one bobbled and reeled in. That one's pulled in by Marcus Bennett. So another first down. Air Force doing what they do, going to the air. Gain of 13 there. A little urgency now from the Falcon offense. Fagan, the fullback. Hammond keeps to the 40-yard line.
Last week against Boise State, they had more passing yards than rushing yards. That's an anomaly. That doesn't happen very often with triple option offenses. 242 through the air, 201 on the ground. To move, you've seen it today. They've had trouble running the ball, so they're going to have to do it through the air. But they got good practice last week. Now, that was Isaiah Sanders as quarterback, though.
Right. Now you've got Donald Hammond. Goes by DJ as well. DJ, little pitch outside. And breaking a tackle is Saucier. And Saucier's got another first down. The Falcons putting together, to this point, Jay, their best looking drive of this game.
And it started on 3rd and long.
Yeah.
They had 3rd and like 15. Hammond threw a strike. They get the first down on 3rd and long. Max Regan was late to recognize and then came up and then missed that tackle.
At least give me this.
So there's an injured Army player down on the Army sideline. And the play is halted with 7:37 to play here in the 3rd quarter. It's like Jalen McClinton down. Army, of course, doesn't put their names on the back. They put them on the front like their uniforms. That is McClinton. Interception earlier this year here at Michie Stadium. And a fixture in that secondary the last couple of years for Jay Bateman. Like the starting quarterback from Charlotte, North Carolina, is McClinton. Calvin Hopkins from there as well. Jay Bateman there, coaching his guys up.
Talked often about Jay Bateman and how well he has coached this team. Very aggressive defensive coordinator, loves to bring pressure from all different people, multiple fronts.
What's his famous line? How he solves his problems?
Solve my problem with aggression. I mean, this is a team that is limiting opponents to 27% on 3rd down. They've done a good job. Air Force just got their first conversion of the game.
Yeah.
That's 6th in the country. Only 97 yards rushing. That's 8th in the country.
First downs in this quarter. Air Force has them all 4-0. 6 plays, 39 yards. There's play number 7. Toss to Saucier. Army, though, great job. Amadeo West coming backside, and he got him. Second big play he's made in the game.
Excellent job, sideline to sideline by that defense. Jay Bateman's defense has speed, the ability to get to the sideline and make that play. Pursuit, they got after the ball.
No gain on the play. I formation here for the Falcons. Hammond got time, going down the middle, broken up. Reynolds was sniffing for a second as they were trying to go to Gerard Sanders again. That's who Reynolds got the interception on at the end of the first half.
Hammond had a small window. If he threw that ball a little earlier and a little in front of his receiver, that may have been a touchdown. It was a hair late, a little behind, and Reynolds made the break on the ball again. Because that's back on the left shoulder of his receiver, that allows Reynolds to get in there and break it up.
3rd and 10, Air Force. Pressure coming, got rid of it, man open, couldn't get it to him. Oh, he had a wide open tight end in Cade Wagaspack.
That should have been a touchdown.
Should have.
They got exactly what they wanted. 3rd and 10. They get the tight end to come out and just come across. And Army does a poor job of recognizing coming across. James Gibson runs out of there. It probably should have been caught. It was a little low. If it's a good ball, he walks into the end zone for a touchdown, and now you have to go for it on 4th and 10.
Yep, from the 31-yard line. They need, of course, the 21. 4th down, pressure, got rid of it, incomplete! Incomplete.
You just said it. I solved my problems with aggression. Jay Bateman should have that tattooed on his back. He brings pressure. Hammond does not have time to set up. They get the stop. Army keeping a shutout for the 2nd year in a row.
Cole Christensen in there applying the pressure. Army gets it back, leading by 14.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces, veterans, and their families for over 85 years. Insured by NCUA. By Ram Trucks, built to serve. And by the U.S. Army. Find out at goarmy.com/warriors.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful shot. The Bear Mountain Bridge, probably, 6-8 miles away from here. And we come up here, it's one of the first things we see. And one of the first things we saw in the last play was pressure from Cole Christensen, Jay.
He's right here in the middle, and he's going to come on a delayed blitz. And Hammond doesn't have time to get to his receiver. Jay Bateman loves to do the delayed blitz. He's got the least amount of pressure and sacks from his defensive line in the country, but that's not what he asked them to do.
Right.
He asked them to occupy blocks and then bring pressure from his linebacker and his secondary, dialing it up, making them uncomfortable. He told us, like, I want them to not do and not see what they practiced all week.
Yep. There's Kel Walker right side. And he picks the best times.
Yes.
In all the years we've done
Impeccable.
these games.
He has a great feel for the game and knows when to bring pressure and when to drop.
He really does.
Against Hawaii on 4th down, they're trying to get in the end zone to tie it at the end of the game. He doesn't bring pressure. He drops, and the linebacker picks it off.
Christensen made that play.
That's right.
Heck of a win among many here at West Point along the banks of the Hudson we've seen over all the years of doing Army games. Gain of 2 on that run from Walker. We're more than halfway through this 3rd quarter. Black Knights of Army lead 14-0. Hopkins took a couple of shots there as he came up just shy of the 35-yard line. Dalen Sutton among those in there that laid some lumber on him. So 3rd down coming up here for Army, 3rd and about 6.
Really big 3rd down again for Air Force in this defense. Have to get a stop, get this ball back for your offense. You had 2 drives that you got all the way into Army territory, and you came away with no points.
Army 6 of 10 on 3rd down. Asbury in motion. He's going to get the rock. They pursue him, and Air Force does the job. What a play. Outstanding work turned in there. Excellent job by linebacker Kyle Johnson.
Watch 44, Parker Noren, though, come off the edge and create pressure right there at the beginning. That forced Hopkins to pitch the ball early, so he wasn't able to get around the corner and then do the option play. Because he had to pitch it early, it just allows the defense to pursue and get to the ball and get a big stop.
So we see Nick Schragon, who in the previous 2 meetings between these 2 teams had not punted. There was 1 punt the last 2 years coming in by J.D. Moe. Look out here!
That's all on Schrag there.
Yes, he took too long, didn't he?
He did. It's a rollout punt. He's supposed to read it. He's done a fake there, but he's got to see pressure and get that ball off. He doesn't see it, holds on to it too long, and then because of the pressure, shanks the ball. And a huge turnover here for Air Force, because that's really what it is. Now, he can punt this ball at any moment. He holds on to it, waits. Oh, my goodness, he's going to block it, and now he gets it off.
It was Jeremy Fedulum that almost got it. 4:44 to go in the 3rd. Just a 5-yard punt. We're back after Just like a postcard, another beautiful West Point Saturday. 4:44 to go in the third quarter. Army up 14-0. Time now for our Mercedes-Benz player profile, Kenneth Brinson. This young man is just outstanding in every single facet of his life. Down to Tina for Tina time with more on Kenneth Brinson.
Yes, as a finalist for the Campbell Trophy, he has a 3.9 GPA in chemical engineering. He's beyond smart. When I talked to Jay Bateman about his intelligence translating onto the field, he said, you know what, we do line up Brinson in different positions. Last year against Navy, he played free safety, so he gets moved around a lot, and then there are different calls, and he's able to recall all of them. Rumor has it, Brinson helps tutor all of the freshmen, especially when they're getting ready for their chemistry exams. He understands it, teaches it, everybody is able to retain it. In fact, he even tutors the tutors here at the Academy.
Well, we got to start calling him the chemist then. He's only one of 4 players in the history of Army to start all 4 years of his career against Air Force. Chris Carnegie did it, Larry Dixon did it, and Ryan England did it. Air Force with a football. Very short field. This is their opportunity, their best to get into the end zone. They're starting the drive inside the 35 as Fagan takes it. And he got it to the 30-yard line, tackled by Christensen, and there's Monken all over Schrag.
And he's telling them, look, you have to understand what they're doing defensively and know when to get rid of the ball. They give him the opportunity to roll. That allows your coverage team to get down the field, but he should have got that ball off much quicker. Only a 5-yard punt.
It's good to see them talking again.
not that way. Well, that's not the way Monken wants to talk.
I understand, but at least they're talking. They didn't talk for 2 years, right? Run there by Hammond.
Well, Schrag had been having a phenomenal year going into the game last week against Eastern.
He had.
He dropped the ball on the one. That led to a short punt, and then shanked the next one. So it's been a tough 2 games.
So it's third down again for Air Force. They're 1 of 5. They need 4. Trying to get this ball into the end zone. Fagan's got it. Breaks through there. Tough run there by Cole Fagan, the junior out of Dunellen, Florida. He picks it up, Jay, and they move the sticks, a gain of 9.
The first successful run by Fagan, kind of picking his way through there. He had 4 rushes for only 10 yards before that run, but a big first down for Air Force.
14 for 67 and a touchdown last week in that loss to Boise State. Big conversion there. Swinging out now into his hands. Instead, that is Remsburg, and Remsburg still on his feet. And Army had to use about 4 bodies to get him down. Leading the way was James Gibby Gibson.
It's only Remsburg's 5th catch on the year. I watched them run that play in warm-ups a bunch. They feel like they can get outside the front of Jay Bateman's defense, get it into a playmaker's hands. Successful play.
Air Force. Fagan again. Just shy of the 10-yard line. He's going to bring up a 3rd and short. About a yard. Pick up a 4. Clock under 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Just joining us, Army started the game. All they did was go 21 plays, 12:55, 75 yards officially, but 120 with all the penalties. Air Force trying to convert here. Fagan, the workhorse on the drive. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's short.
Yeah, I do too. By about a football, maybe?
A really good job defensively up front for Army, getting push on that defensive line, and then the linebackers coming in and stuffing the fullback. 2 minutes left in this game. This 4th down is huge for Air Force.
Schrag looking on after that 5-yard punt. Troy Calhoun hoping his team can convert on 4th and a yard. They're 0 of 1 converting on 4th down. Can they do it here? Hammond, and he gets away, and he's got it. He picks up the first down. So Donald Hammond III gets the job done. Riley the stop, but it was too late. It's now 1st and goal, Air Force.
It was really Hammond, his 2nd effort there. He's coming down the line. Watch him spin back. He doesn't have it. Army gets good push right there, and then the spin back inside. No one there for Army to stop it, and a huge pickup for Air Force, and getting that first down and keeping this drive alive.
Their 6th first down in this quarter. 1st and goal now. Handoff. Fagan trying to drag a defender into the end zone. And it was Nautical that was on his back, and he stopped him inside of the 1, bringing up 2nd and goal. They're going fast.
Watch the quarterback sneak.
Yep. Hammond. And he calls his own number and torpedoes his way in for the touchdown. Air Force is on the board with 54 seconds to play in the quarter. Their first touchdown in the last 2 meetings against Army.
Touchdown was set up by the poor punt by Nick Schrag, waiting too long. It ended up only being a 5-yard punt. Gave Air Force the ball deep in Army territory. Converted a 4th down and then pushed it into the end zone. And now we got a ball game, Ben.
We do indeed. 6th rushing touchdown of the season for Hammond. Conkey on to try to make it a 7-point game. And it's off the upright. No good. An 8-point game, Jay, with 54 seconds left in the 3rd.
Huge miss there on the extra point. Instead of 7, it's 8. It started with Schrag, and the 5-yard punt led to the touchdown.
Donald Hammond III comes in and leads them down the field, and Air Force is on the board. Point after off the upright, and it's a 8-point game here, late stages of the 3rd, Jay.
Conkey hadn't missed an extra point all year. That's his first one. Really, it started with the snap and the wind that's whipping that way that pulled the snap away from the holder, and then he misses the extra point. And that's a big difference, 7 and 8 points.
Yeah, and the ball just blew off the tee. The wind blowing out of the northwest. Just watching those flags from across our broadcast booth here. In the 3rd quarter, Air Force with 130 yards, 6 first downs, Army 8 yards. Conkey gets some help there, and he drills this one 8 yards deep into the end zone.
You're going to see that snap kind of bring him out. He gets the hold down fine, and he should have made that kick. It's always hard when that snap brings you away from where you are. If it's into your body, it's much easier for the holder. When it brings you away, sometimes you miss the spot, and you saw that kick pull left and hit the upright. Instead of 7 points, now it's 8. Now you got to get a touchdown and the 2-point conversion.
Indeed. Army's got it back, trying to get something going here late in the 3rd, but just 8 yards in a quarter.
They need to wake up because they're in a battle now, and they've been asleep for this 3rd quarter.
No question about it. Hopkins drops back, throws, fires, catch is made. And a good pickup there on 1st down. The reception made by Glenn Coates.
Little quick hitch, and that's what we asked for. Yeah, you can see that.
21 plays the opening drive. Last 5, they've had 22 plays.
Well, they had 2 really good drives in the first half, and they've been slow to get going here in the second half. That was a nice quick hitch to get him started and get him ahead in the sticks.
Yep, 9 on that pass. Now they go back to their bread and butter. It's Darnell Woolfolk. And Woolfolk's got the first down up to the almost to the 39, about 38.5-yard line.
You and I asked Brent Davis a lot over the last couple of years why he didn't throw little quick hitches like that.
Yep.
You know, that's just not what Ahmad Bradshaw did well. He did so many things well. Record-setting career for Ahmad Bradshaw, but he didn't throw the ball well.
Right.
With Calvin Hopkins, that's what he can do. No problem. Calvin Hopkins was a spread quarterback in high school.
Yep.
He has no problem stepping back, throwing hitches, and going deep.
Told us last week, he said, I was used to throwing the ball 25 times a game. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. And Army's on top in the 53rd all-time meeting between Army and Air Force. Air Force trying to win the game and claim the CIC trophy. Army trying to win the game and retain it. The 4th quarter when we come back to Mikey Stadium right here on CBS Sports Network. Some of the best moving pictures from the game today so far. Appreciate the folks in our tape room putting that together. Our line score, Army 7 in the first, 7 in the second, led 14-0, now 14-6 here at a sold-out Mikey Stadium as we begin the fourth quarter with Jay Feely, Tina Servasio, all of our crew. My name is Ben Holden. Great to have you with us here on a beautiful West Point Saturday. The CIC on the line. If Air Force wins, they get it back. It would be their 21st all-time. If Army wins, they retain it. They could win it outright if they were to beat Navy. If they don't and they win this game, they'd still retain it because they had it last year, but they want to win the thing outright.
Yeah, absolutely. Army was dominant in that first half time of possession. We showed that coming back in the beginning of the second half. But Air Force flipped the script in the third quarter. Yep. 9 minutes, 35 seconds time of possession compared to Army 5 minutes, 25 seconds. They get a touchdown. They mixed the extra point. It's 14-6, and Army knows they're in for a battle now. I mean, they had been rolling. Everything had gone their way. They get the 5-yard punt. Air Force gets good field position. They cash it in for their first touchdown.
First missed point after since October of 15 against the Colorado State Rams, as Conkey banged one off the upright.
Saw Justin Tucker for the Baltimore Ravens miss his first extra point of his career.
That's amazing.
First since middle school. It cost them the game. You saw the look on his face, one of the best of all time to do it. It happens.
Yep.
And it always seems to happen at the most inopportune times. I watched Steven Gostkowski miss one in the AFC Championship. It was his first miss in like 10 years, and that ended up costing the Patriots.
And some say kicking's not important.
Not this guy.
Well, I'm well aware. Because I'm with you, it is. Because most times, a lot of times, the game comes down to you guys booting the ball. Great to have you with us. First play of the fourth quarter. On the ground, good job there by Air Force. That front blowing them up. Connor's in there on Woolfolk. Got some help in there as well from Capra. Big number 95, Cody Gessler, senior out of Katy, Texas.
Air Force much better. They've struggled making adjustments at halftime. They've come out, they played excellent in the third quarter defensively, shut down this Army rushing attack.
Jeff Monken in his career here at Army, 24-2 when they lead after 3.
All 11 within 7 yards of the ball there for Air Force.
Yep, they're going to make it tough on him. Kel Walker with a football. They're going to need 4 yards on third down, but this is certainly 4-down territory for Monken's men.
Army 6 of 11 on the day on third down, 2 of 2 on fourth down. Continuing to do what they do best, and that's just grind, getting good field position, have the sticks in their favor, and convert either on third down or fourth down.
Came into the game 90%, leading the FBS did Army on fourth down conversion. This is 3rd and 4, Jay.
You can see everybody on Air Force's defense within 7 yards of the ball.
Here they come. Hopkins slips through there, and Calvin Hopkins comes up with a beautiful piece of running. Kyle Johnson, who's had a big day, made the tackle, but they moved the chains after a gain of 8.
Good read by Calvin Hopkins, comes out, and then just a little slip, and it looked like it was going to be a tackle for a loss. Right here, nice move. Slips the tackle, gets the first down, and Army continues to drive this ball down the field.
Trying to make a march here and get this score stretched out a little bit more than it is. It's 8 now. Darnell Woolfolk's the fullback. Walker in motion there. Woolfolk head down. Burrows his way for about 2.
The last 2 weeks, Army has told us and our crews that Woolfolk was a little banged up, his hamstring. They said, hey, we're going to use other guys. So all they've done against Eastern Michigan, Woolfolk had 24 carries for 89 yards.
Led the team with carries.
Then today he's got 15 carries for over 100 yards.
He's not hurt. He's a soldier.
That's right.
16 for 103, Jay, and the touchdown. Slumka's in now. Connor Slumka, the fullback. Walker goes in motion. Hopkins going to keep it. Left side, he's close to a first down. It'll bring up 3rd and About 1.5 yards for Army.
Excellent push by the left side of this offensive line. A combo block, a little legal cut block. And Army getting close to another first down and eating up clock. That's more important than anything.
Indeed, a gain of 7 there from Kelvin Hopkins. His first taste of this rivalry.
Did you tell him the slot receivers leaving the box?
Army 7 of 12 on 3rd down. Nearly 54% this season converting. Davidson's in behind Hopkins. Davidson gets it, and he gets the first down. And does a tremendous job coming in and playing his role and doing his job. And Darnell Woolfolk, he's doing his job just fine.
Certainly has. All year long, over 650 yards rushing on the year. He's got 9 touchdowns. Such a staple for this offense. Just the fullback dive. But everything they do is predicated on fullback success. It opens everything else up, and Woolfolk in the last 2 years has really become a force for them. Over 2,000 career yards and 32 rushing touchdowns.
Yes, indeed, and there's the measurement. Davidson got it. I wanted to say about Andy Davidson, I know we touched on it in the first half, but to me, he's one of those guys, the ultimate teammate. You touched on it, how well of a good of a season he had a couple years ago. Woolfolk stepped up, Slumka stepped up last year, and he slid down the depth chart, but he's kept a great attitude. They love his attitude and the way he goes in and just does what they ask him to do.
Exactly what you would expect of an Army cadet. Being unselfish, doing the dirty work, playing on special teams, continuing when your number's called to produce, but being there for your teammate.
Recruited as a linebacker. First year he played as a linebacker. 6 for 27 for him today. Gets the rock again. And there's a flag down at the 33-yard line. 7th carry of the day for Davidson if it stands.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 99. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run, automatic, first down.
So that's on big 99, Mosesa Fafita.
He's listed at 315. He's really like about 330, right in the middle of your screen, right there. Late, you can see him grab a hold of Bryce Holland's face mask.
Yeah.
He was getting double teamed. He was just grabbing for anything, trying to hold his ground in there, and he got the face mask, and that's a big penalty. 15 yards for Army, brings it down to the 20.
55 yards in penalties against Troy Calhoun's team so far today. Play clock under 5. Hopkins gets it away. Davidson stays in, takes a shot. They're going to give him the spot about the 19-yard line.
This drive looks a lot like the first 2 touchdown drives in the first half for Army. Nothing special, continuing to pound the ball, run the ball, get first downs, 3rd, 4th down, and churn that clock. It started with a nice little quick hitch by Hopkins. That got the drive going.
9-yard play. They've run 10, 9 runs and a pass, 56 yards, almost 6 minutes, 11th play of the drive coming up here. Woolfolk back in behind Hopkins. Hopkins down to the 16-yard line, so 3rd and mid-range coming up, about 5, maybe 6 they'll need to convert.
Last year when Army ran the ball so well against Air Force, Ahmad Bradshaw had 265 yards. Most of that was in the split zone follow, where he would fake it to his running back and then follow the running back or fullback right up the middle. We have seen that one time here today. It's not something they do a lot with Kelvin Hopkins, but it was a wrinkle that they added for that game against Air Force. Hadn't seen it, and Ahmad Bradshaw ripped off a ton of yardage in that game. Today it's been really the triple option and Darnell Woolfolk.
Here's Hopkins. Oh, little trickery. This is Coates with a football. Glenn Coates trying to get there, and he can't. Great pursuit. Excellent pursuit over there.
It was a really good play design by Brent Davis, but Coates didn't have the speed to get to the corner. It was there. If that's Kel Walker, he probably scores on that play.
Turns the corner. 4th and 3.
I think you kicked a field goal here. You know, you're very aggressive on 4th down, but you're sitting there at 8 points. It's still a one-score game. You go in and you kick a field goal, and you go up 11. Air Force missed an extra point going this way. The wind is blowing hard to Army's left here.
They're going.
I'm surprised.
Play
I mean, I'm not surprised with Jeff Monken, but I'm surprised because I think that's where you should be kicking the field goal.
And they got to take a timeout. They were going to run out of time.
Army takes his first time out of the half.
And who knows, out of the timeout, Jay, they may change their mind, but it didn't appear that.
Abercrombie is 5 for 5, so it's a big decision. You'd be sitting there looking at a 31-yard field goal. Tough call for Jeff Monken.
Back here at Michie Stadium, a key 4th down coming up. But first, I want to remind you the USF Bulls clash with Tulane. That'll be followed by another American battle as UConn takes on Tulsa. And later, number 23 Fresno State takes on UNLV at 10:30, only on CBS Sports Network. And now, Feely, time to look at the college football playoff poll. I know you got issues with this thing.
Well, Ohio State was losing at halftime in Nebraska.
Whoa.
They came back, they're up 2 points. But LSU, whose big win is against Georgia and lost to Florida. Notre Dame beat number 5 Michigan. I don't know how Notre Dame undefeated is not ahead of LSU. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
It'll work itself out. Alabama, LSU today on CBS. That's going to be a huge game.
Big one tonight. So here we go, Jay. 8:40 to go. It is 4th and 3. And Army.
Now they're going to kick it.
Yep.
Abercrombie's coming on.
Yep.
I think it's the right decision. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. You know,
yes.
I know you want to go for it. I know you want to pound it, but you go up 11 here. Now the wind is hard to his left. He needs to start this ball over here on the right center.
30-yard attempt. Potter the hold. Abercrombie puts it up, and Abercrombie 6 for 6.
It's not pretty, but it's effective.
It works. He doesn't need Fitch. He can do it alone. Abercrombie, that is.
Big drive for Army, driving down the field. Abercrombie knocks it through, stays perfect. Army's up 11.
Time now to check in on our Chick-fil-A fan cam, and those that serve, we thank you all for your service. Part of the walk-on today, and Air Force and Army, and the exchange and the Corps Cadets going nuts in our Chick-fil-A fan cam here today at Michie Stadium, Jay.
Well, I've mentioned my brother Nick, who serves in the Air Force.
Yes.
I got a brother Tyler Feely, who serves in the Coast Guard at Fairport. I know him and all his boys are watching as well, so thank you, gentlemen.
Yes. And the Air Force cadets here as well. And Air Force set to get the football back. Air Force won their first leg of the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy race. 35-7 over Navy.
Air Force has got to keep this ball in the air. That's how they're going to get back into this game. Hammond is 5 for 9 for 71 yards. Hit a big 31-yarder there. When they've moved the ball, it's been through the air. They got 25 rushing attempts, 82 yards.
Ball blows off the tee for Salyers. Help him out with that. 8:35 remaining in the game. 11-point lead for Army. Trying to make it 2 straight against Air Force. And
you mentioned all the way back in the open, Army has never won the CIC trophy 2 years in a row.
Never happened.
That's shocking.
It's unbelievable. They won the first. They won it last year. The first time since '96. Salyers sends it down there. Fair catch called for at the 7 by Saucier. Let's go back down the Hudson to Brent Stover in the studio for an update.
Guys, Nebraska had a second half lead on Ohio State until J.K. Dobbins runs it in. He's second of the day, a 3-yard touchdown. And seconds ago, Ohio State just scored again. So now they lead 29-21 on the Huskers.
Thanks so much, Brent. There's that update. A lot of big games going on today. That one of them. And I know you're going to have your eyes on Michigan and Penn State when we're done.
You think?
eyes, ears, both phones.
That's right.
Air Force back to work. Hammond under pressure, nobody open. Takes off running, and he's taken down at the 31-yard lines where they'll spot him down. He was stopped by Gibby Gibson after a gain of 7.
Good job ad-libbing there by Hammond, because I thought he was going to get sacked. He was able to wiggle his way out, create something out of nothing there, and get positive yardage, and now they got 2nd and 3.
Donald Hammond came in the second half, took over for Isaiah Sanders. Good run there. Nautical the tackle. And it was Joseph Saucier the run. They'll move the chains.
That's one of those plays that they put in this week that you haven't seen, that you're hoping to hit a big hitter. You know, you haven't shown that look, and you go with what looks like the triple option right, and then hit a reverse back inside to the left. It only gained about 5 yards.
7:45 remaining. Air Force trying to put together another drive, and he missed there. The intended target there was Gerard Sanders. 2nd down upcoming. Today's first down line being brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union.
Sanders sat it down. That's what he and Isaiah Sanders had hooked up a couple times on. Hammond thought he was going to come inside on a post. Little confusion there from the backup quarterback and the receiver.
2nd and 10. On the 36. Hammond's got a ton of room near side. He's going to run and get the first down, and smartly, for Air Force's cause, gets out of bounds with 7:33 to go as they move the chains.
Really good look here. Good blocking there, and then Hammond just takes off. A little quarterback draw. An excellent job by Air Force taking advantage of the aggressiveness of that Army defense.
Gain of 11. Troy Calhoun, the head coach, 9-2 all time against Army. His team, with a victory today, would claim the 21st Commander-in-Chief's trophy, the most of any of the 3 academies. He missed there, did Hammond, on the first down pass, an open target. Amadeo West, the pressure.
3rd time we've called Amadeo West's name. He created that incomplete pass, because if he doesn't come in and get pressure, he's got to stay outside to keep contained, but he pressures Hammond. Hammond isn't able to set and deliver the ball because that receiver was wide open.
See the quarterback comparison. Sanders started the game. Hammond in the second half. Hammond's throwing for 71. Going to throw it again here, and could not connect again. Looking for Saucier there. 3rd and 10 coming up.
A lot of confusion on this series here. A couple of times that the quarterback and the receivers weren't on the same page.
Air Force 2 of 7. On 3rd down, they need 10.
Yeah, you don't have to get it all here. You know you're going to go for it on 4th down, so if you get half of it, that's okay.
Hammond stands in, flings it out there way too high. Reynolds on the coverage.
They're going to call pass interference, though.
Oh, my, are they? Yes.
And there was no reason. You didn't need to push, and the ball was high. Now, Army's yelling that it's uncatchable. I'm looking down at the Army bench. There's the coaches. They're all saying uncatchable.
Yep.
They're going to have a little conversation here. Yeah. It wasn't on the initial route.
Pass interference. Defense, number 10. Spot foul. First down.
Target they were looking for was Gerard Sanders.
Just really no reason here. It's not here. It's when he makes his break. See, there's the grab and then the pull there. That's what they call it. That's a good call.
Yeah, it is. After seeing that, it clearly is. 75 yards in penalties today for Army. That's 25 above their average. Other way, Fagan wide open. Fagan inside of the 20, inside of the 15. And a beautiful play call there by Mike Thiessen, the offensive coordinator. Riley with a tackle.
Fake the pitch right, and then you sneak your fullback out. You never see this with Army or Air Force. The throwback to the fullback on the backside, wide open, caught Army again. The second time they've used Army's aggressiveness against them and come back to that weak side.
Gain of 30 on the pass. Hammond to Fagan again, right up the gut. And he takes the ball to the 11-yard line. Wunmi Oyatuga leading the charge, the first one to him.
Oyatuga made the tackle.
You're down 11 here, so you need a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal.
Yes.
So it's not 4-down territory necessarily here, because at some point you're going to need a field goal.
2nd and 7. Took a shot. Still working. Still not down. He was on top of the Army player there. Took the ball down to about the 6-yard line.
It'll be 3rd and 2 here.
Yep. Hammond there with a little tap to the side of the helmet of Brinson out of respect. Riley in there on the tackle as well. Gain of 5. 3rd and 2, as you said, Jay.
Up top, you got single coverage. Man-to-man up top. Man-to-man at the bottom.
Hammond keeps it, pitches. Saucier will walk in. Touchdown! Air Force into the end zone again. Joseph Saucier. Little sauce on that one. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Falcons have got it down to a 5-point game.
Very creative drive there by Air Force. Continuing to keep Army off balance. Cashed it in, and now because they missed the extra point in the 3rd quarter, they have to go for 2.
2nd career rushing touchdown for Saucier.
Confusion by Army. He was slow getting lined up.
Hammond, he's gonna keep it, then pitch it, and they get it. Saucier gets it done. He is an outstanding young, talented player. They've got a 3-point game with 5:27 to go in it.
Hammond coming down the line, getting the pitch, and they get the touchdown, and then they put Brinson in a little tough situation, a 2-on-1, and they cash in the 2-pointer.
Great one shaping up here. The finish with 5:27 left. 3-point lead for Army. Let's go back to your extra points, Feely, in the fancy suit.
Well, Air Force only 40%, 3rd and 4th down. Army's at 62%, so they haven't done that. Get the ball out of Hopkins' hands. Decent job of doing that. Woolfolk has been the workhorse. 0 turnovers. That's kept Army where they want to be, but they've been sleeping in this second half and stopped the fullback. They've done a good job against Fagan for the most part, but they hit him for the big 33-yard pass there. A very creative play by Mike Thiessen and the Air Force offense. They had 3 plays that they took advantage of Army's aggressiveness, hit big plays on each of them, and kind of went deep into the playbook there. And I thought we'd see some things in these games when you're so familiar with each other. You're going to see some things. They're going to bring out some plays that they've been waiting all year, and we certainly saw it on that drive.
We certainly did, with Hammond running the show.
And Army did on the drive before. They played a Coates. We haven't seen that, but Coates was just too slow. The play was there. It worked.
Yeah.
If it's somebody else, if it's Kel Walker, they get the first down. They don't. Coates gets caught, and they have to kick the field goal.
And Joseph Saucier there was the star to finish that drive. 6-yard touchdown, and he made the play on the 2-point conversion to make it a 3-point game.
Army has their hands team in. They don't have their return team in ready for an onside kick. I don't expect Air Force here at onside. They're going to kick it deep.
Here's Conkey. Sends it deep. Walker drifting back. Walker going to bring it back. Trying to get around the edge. Now
poor decision.
Backwards, and he lost about 5 yards. And took one of our audio folks out as well. Hope they're okay. Air Force on that last drive you just touched on. Here's some of the highlights.
Well, he missed a couple of passes, but here was the big one to Fagan. A throwback, very creative. You don't see that throwing to the fullback very often at all. Then they cashed it in. The option one way for the touchdown, the option the other way for the 2-point conversion.
And Donald Hammond has done the job coming in this second half to give this Air Force team a spark and get them right back into the game. It's a 3-point game.
Now they need a stop. Now they need their defense to come up and get a stop. If Army gets a few first downs, they can put this game away.
Army in this second half only 55 yards and 4 first downs. And a pickup of a couple. And the run by Darnell Woolfolk. Down to 5 minutes remaining in the game. Today's first down line is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. 2nd and 8.
Brent Davis is going to have to throw the ball, I believe, at some point here in this drive.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Find the right spot, find the right moment, call the right play. I'd like him to go to Kel Walker.
Walker in motion. Here's a pitch, and Woolfolk. You don't see this often. He stepped out of bounds. But I believe he's got the first down. Yes, he does. Very few times have we seen that with a fullback.
No, not at all. Again, another play. Kel Walker goes to the left. Looks like it's going to be a reverse.
I don't know about
I have to look at
the runner was out
it's
of
that
bounds.
right foot right there that we can't
Just
see.
past the 30-yard line.
Right.
Here comes.
This will be the angle.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, his toe was out.
Good call by the officials.
So they ran Kel Walker like it was going to be a reverse to him, a pitch to him, and they brought Woolfolk back an option to him.
I love it.
In my 4 years doing this, I haven't seen that. They haven't pitched to Woolfolk at all.
Yeah.
Again, going deep into the playbook, bringing out something that they haven't seen.
18 carries for Woolfolk. Converts there. Head down, trying to plow ahead. That front, though, for Air Force is going to keep him to just a 1-yard gain. Inside of 4 minutes to go in the game now.
Air Force has all 3 of their timeouts. At some point, they're going to have to decide, do we use them?
Air Force is able to win. They would win the Commander-in-Chief's trophy.
You're down 3, Ben. Trying to get this ball back. Your kicker, who has a long of 43, missed an extra point in the 3rd quarter. So you have to have time and be able to get that ball down there where you feel comfortable so your kicker can tie this game up. But first, your defense has to get a stop.
Army, if they're able to win this game, they would retain the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. And Air Force, again, doing the job up front. It's going to be 3rd and relatively long. Timeout taken. Troy Calhoun and his guys will talk it over, as will Monken and his guys.
That's the spot.
Takes its first time out of the half.
That's the spot I think that Brent Davis should have thrown the ball right there. Air Force stacking the line. They had off coverage on the receivers. Could have easily hit one of those hitches that they did.
Well, this one's 17-14. Last year it was the Ahmad Bradshaw show. He got sick early in the game, lost his breakfast, then he went for 265 yards, an academy record for quarterbacks here at West Point. Kel Walker had 2 touchdowns, and Army that day dominated to a 21-0 win. First time Air Force had been shut out at home since 1980.
Yeah, Air Force was sick of seeing Ahmad Bradshaw run all over them by the end of that game.
No kidding. This year, a different story. 3rd and 9. There's the pass you said they'd have to throw. Hopkins into double coverage. And
there was contact. No flag thrown.
Definitely contact. Nothing. As he was looking for Jatiel Klein. Lewis in coverage.
Klein had gotten behind the defense. The ball's there. Here comes the contact right there. Now, whether that ball was catchable or not, that's the decision. They certainly could have called it. They didn't, and Air Force gets the stop.
They do, and now Schraig's got to come on.
I doubt they roll him out here.
Oh, my goodness.
Monken is going to say, listen, just step back there and punt the ball. He's punted the ball well throughout the year, averaging over 40 yards a punt.
Gets this one away. Did exactly what you said, Jay. Andrew Smith back there on the return. He's speedy. And he takes it back to the 34. So with 3:02 left after a 42-yard punt, Air Force has the ball with 2 timeouts remaining. The finish when we come back to Mikey Stadium. Army on top by 3.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing. By MCOR. Build, power, service, protect. And by American Greetings at your exchange.
3:02 left in the game. Army on top by 3. And let's get down to Tina for an update on the weather conditions down on the field. Tina.
Well, down low on the field, there's always been a breeze. Earlier, when Army kicked the field goal, it actually wasn't that bad. But recently, in the last minute, in this last timeout, there have been some pretty strong gusts. And they're going from north to south, blowing hard into that south end zone, guys.
All right. Thank you, Tina.
I got 24 miles an hour, sustained, gust up to 40 right now. That's what it says on the weather app.
So Army, a 10-game home win streak. But their last loss, leading at halftime by 14 or more points, November 5th, 2011 against Air Force. Go figure. Here we go with a finish. Hammond zings one, and it's off the hands of the intended target there. Couldn't pull it in. Marcus Bennett.
Should have made a catch there.
Yep.
A good throw. Their last loss here at Mikey was 2 years ago against Air Force.
Yes. November 5th of 16, a 31-12 win, and they won the CIC that day.
Yeah, he knows he threw a good ball, made the right decision, and his receiver just dropped it.
6 out of 14 is Hammond for 101. He's rushed 8 times for 30 yards. 2nd and 10. Fires, man open, caught. And Regan's there to greet him. It was Gerard Sanders with the grab. First down, Falcons.
Really good protection. Jay Bateman didn't bring a blitz. Hammond was able to sit back there and wait for his receiver to get open and then throw a strike.
Gain of 19. Clock continues to tick away. Plenty of time for Air Force. They've got 2 timeouts.
I expect a delayed blitz here by Jay Bateman. Changing the play.
Yep. Hammond hands it off to Fagan. Good pickup there on first down to the Army 43-yard line. He was stopped by Max Regan.
We're going to get to about 2 minutes here. 2 timeouts.
Yep.
The 43-yard line. You need to get to about the 20 to feel comfortable with this wind blowing really across and into their face for Air Force.
2nd and 6. Hammond pressured, got rid of it, and close to the stick.
Little short.
Yep, was Joseph Saucier.
About a yard short.
Regan again forced him out. So 3rd and short, as you say, Jay, coming up.
Certainly have to go for it if you don't get it.
Yep.
Regardless of where you are.
3rd and 1. Out of the shotgun goes Hammond. Hammond gives it off, and Army comes up with a play. They get Remsburg. Cole Christensen leading the charge, a loss of 2.
Perfect call by Jay Bateman. Brings a run blitz to the strong side, and they run right into that play. Tackle him for a loss, and now here's the game.
Here is the game. 4th and 3. 90 seconds left.
You got to hurry. I mean, you still have to get this ball another 20 yards or so. If you get this 4th down, you can't use up all your time.
Here they go on 4th and 3. Hammond with a ball. Hammond's not going to get there. Army comes up with a play. Cole Christensen again. Turnover on downs. Army with a 3-point lead with 70 seconds left. My goodness.
We met with Cole Christensen. He said that they were keen on Fagan at the fullback position. They were pitching the ball more. I love this quote. He said, "We have to win this game. There's no other alternative." Now there's 2 timeouts left for Air Force here. There's 1:10.
Yep.
So if they get stops, they get 3 stops in a row, they could get the ball back with, you know, maybe 10, 15 seconds left on the play clock.
Christensen went on to, I love this line he gave us yesterday. He said, "This year we need to solidify our superiority." He may have just done that. But as you said, Jay, 2 timeouts for Air Force. Calhoun calls one here. Woolfolk with a run.
Air Force takes his 2nd timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
So 3 seconds elapsed from the clock, and Jay Bateman's defense coming up with that stop on that 4th and 3 just moments ago. But here's a look at what they've done all day.
They've been doing what they have done all year, which is play phenomenal defense. Only 118 yards rushing for this triple option offense. They average 255 through the air. Jay Bateman, who I've said all along, I believe he's one of the best defensive coordinators in the entire country. When you talk to coaching staffs around the country, they validate that.
Sure.
Jeff Monken has been lucky to keep him as long as he had. He's had offers. He's turned those offers down.
Yep.
Very happy here.
2nd and 8. Air Force has 1 timeout left. Hopkins with the run, puts his head into the chest of the defender. And Calvin Hopkins to the 46. It was Kyle Johnson that took said helmet to the chest.
Air Force takes his 3rd and final timeout of the half.
Gain of
We set
4.
the game clock to 1:02. It'll be a 1-minute timeout.
And Air Force on a timeout.
So if they run this play here, they run it, even if Air Force gets a stop.
Right.
It's going to be about 55, 56 seconds left. Run it down 40 seconds. That's going to take it down to about 15, 16. You punt the ball. Set about 10, 12 seconds left. Air Force can get the ball and try to do something.
Calhoun out on the field. 9-2 in his career against Army.
And we have to remember, this all started, this comeback attempt by Air Force started with Nick Schrag holding on to that ball too long. Air Force getting pressure. It caused a 5-yard punt.
Yeah.
So just because, you know, Army's sitting here in a very good position, this game is not over for Air Force.
No, it's not.
They got to try and get a stop. They got to try and strip the ball, do something to get this ball back for their offense with an opportunity to try and kick a field goal and tie this game.
3rd down and 4 upcoming for Army. Ball at the 46-yard line with 1:02 to go.
We all know Army's not going to throw this ball. They're going to run it.
Yeah.
On the season, only 6 fumbles, only 2 lost. 5 of those fumbles came in the first game against Duke. So they've been very secure with this ball. I would expect it to go to their fullback in the middle, to Woolfolk.
Yep. 3rd and 4. Woolfolk behind Hopkins. Hopkins. He's going to keep it.
A little short.
Yeah, he is. About a yard, a little more than a yard. And the tackle was made in there by the big nose guard, Mosesa Fafita.
So Air Force gets the stop. Your Jeff Monken, let this go all the way down to 1 second and then call a timeout.
4th and 1.
About 17 seconds left on the clock here.
Hopkins, you can clearly see.
Now, unfortunately, you and I have been in this situation watching a game that came down like this a few years ago, Michigan State. And all Michigan had to do was really punt the ball. We went with a rollout punt there. He dropped the ball. Michigan State picked it up and ran it back. Don't roll out there.
Right.
You line up in this situation. You have your punter do a 1-step punt. You practice this all the time.
Army takes its 2nd timeout of the half. It'll be a 1-minute timeout.
If I'm Air Force, I line 10 guys up at the line. I have 1 returner. I come after this ball and try and get a block, put pressure on Nick Schrag. In the last 2 games, he's dropped a punt.
Yes.
He bobbled the first punt today. He got it off and had a good punt, but then he held onto the ball too long. Here's this play right here. He holds onto it too long, allows pressure to come in, and ends up being a 5-yard punt. So Nick Schrag, who's had a very, very good year for Army, has had 2 games where he's had a lot of mistakes, and that's in the back of his mind. He's got to be able to put those out of his mind, focus on first catching the ball. It's blowing 25 miles an hour here. That can have an impact on the snap and catching that snap as well. And then he's quickly got to get that ball off.
17 seconds remain. There is Schrag. Hadn't seen the field in 16 or 17 in terms of punting, but he's seen it plenty today.
Well, Schrag's not out there.
He's not out there.
There's no way they're going for it. All they're going to do is try and draw him off sides and then call timeout.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't snap this ball.
They did snap it, and they've got the first down.
I can't believe they did
that. You talk about guts.
Well, guts, I don't know that it was smart either. They got it, but if you don't get that, if anything happens, you just gave Air Force life.
Oh, my goodness.
Gutsy call by Jeff Monken.
That is big-time guts.
Unbelievable. I didn't think there was a chance they were snapping that ball. Jeff Monken says, I'm not scared.
Gets it done. Hopkins and company. They were 3 of 3 on 4th down, and the Black Knights win the game 17-14. And the 2 teams, there's a lot of emotion. the word hatred was thrown around.
Well, you got to have respect for each other. Get out of there. This game has been an awesome game.
It has.
Don't deface it by doing something stupid on either side.
Yes, you're on the same team.
That's right.
But what a football game. And Army, with the win, they will retain the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. They can win it outright if they beat Navy in December in Philly. For the second time, they would win it in a row if they're able to do that.
They haven't lost here, Mikey, in 2 years. It's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Some of the games. Miami of Ohio in overtime, they stop them on the two-point conversion.
Hawaii, Eastern
at the
Michigan,
end of the
Temple.
game.
I mean, it goes on and on.
Unbelievable, Jeff Monken. And to go for it on fourth down there, I was just stunned. I still am that he went for it, because if you don't get it, all of a sudden, Air Force is one completion away from kicking a field goal and tying this game.
Wow.
Jeff Monken showed a lot of trust in that offensive line and in Calvin Hopkins to get it.
And here's a look back, Jay, at that 4th and 1. 17 seconds were on the clock. Hopkins followed Holland, the pile, and then Jeff Monken. How about that? That's going to be one heck of a picture in his office one day. That is quite a sight.
At the end of the day, Army 3 for 3 on fourth down.
Yep. They lead the country on conversion percentage. And Air Force, they will sing first. The objective of these Academy games, of course, to sing second. But we will have the Air Force alma mater. Let's watch and listen.
The Air Force alma mater.
How great a scene is that?
Beautiful sight, the Air Force alma mater, and this is what you want in these games. You want to sing second, and Army's going to sing second as they make their way down in front of the Corps Cadets, all 4,400, well, minus about 125 on the football team, but they're all there now, the playing and the singing of the West Point alma mater.
Let's roll, Michael.
Jeff Monken, you heard him there. It's staying here, and let's go, Maestro. Indeed it is. There's Jeff with his father. Army wins it. They retain the Commander-in-Chief's trophy with a 3-point win over Air Force. More to come when we come back to Mikey. 3-point win for Army. They retain the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. The head coach down on the field with Tina.
All right, Ben, thank you. Coach, congratulations. First question, we begin with the final play. Why did you make the call to go for it on 4th down?
Well, I figured at that point, if we couldn't go 3 feet with the ball, we probably didn't deserve to win. So we just had to out-tough them on one play, and I thought our guys could do it.
I know you want to outright win this CIC trophy by beating Navy, but to retain it here at West Point by beating Air Force today, what does that mean to you?
Oh, it's just a big win for our program. It's that CIC trophy is a source of pride for this entire academy and the United States Army, and it's nice to get step 1 taken care of.
Air Force started making a comeback here in the second half with that new quarterback. What are some of the defensive adjustments your players had to make?
They did a really good job. They were throwing the ball effectively. It happened in the first half too. We just weren't getting around those throws, and he was making them. And credit their defense. They got some stops that they needed, and I was frustrated. We had to block punt and had some things that just really disappointing. But you know, happy that we found a way to win, and that's really what matters.
Coach, thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Beat Navy.
Thank you, Tina, and that's what's next for Jeff Monken in terms of these rivalries. What a game. Once again, our final score, Army 17, Air Force 14. For Jay Feely, Tina Cervasio, all of our crew, my name is Ben Holden. Hope you enjoyed it. It's been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Let's now get you to Brent Stover, Kevin Carter, and Christian Fourier for Inside College Football.